And welcome to Vauxhall Oval, the home of the Aspley Hornets at Graham Road, Aspley, beautiful southeast Queensland, which has just been hit with a couple of big spats of rain, but it has... Well, I suppose the sun has come out and it will dry up very shortly. Michael Price here for some NEAFL TV action, joined in commentary by Mark Kanga Kennedy. And Kanga, this should be a ripping game. The Lions have got something to prove, I suppose, after last night. A couple of young players want to put their hands up for next week. Aspley, tight game against Southport. They want to bounce back too.
Yeah, that's right. And Jackson Allen, he's coming in, 100th NEAFL game, so something to celebrate on Aspley's behalf. And they're 0-2 at the moment. They won't want to go 0-3, and they're coming up against a rampaging Brisbane Lyons side at NEAFL level. And as you rightly mentioned, there will be some players wanting to put their hands up.
Absolutely. 21 listed players for Brisbane, and it's got a big ask for Aspley. Joined in special comments by the Encyclopedia of Queensland Footy, Mr. Bob Batty. Bob, the rain's cleared. What do you see the game looking like?
Yeah, well, look, Brisbane Lions are a very tall, athletic team, aren't they? They've got 6 players 200 centimetres above, so the rain won't help them, but they're very quick and they move the ball swiftly. So, look, Aspley will have to be right on their game to stay with them early.
And we see the players clearing the benches now. As I said, there was a couple of really heavy rainstorms. We've actually changed positions. Commentary team, well done to Tim, Jess and all of the NEAFL TV through Bar TV crew. Young Ben, who helped switch rooms within about 10 minutes for us to get to air, which is fantastic work. Thanks very much. It's about 24 degrees, not a lot of breeze to speak of. Going to be a little bit slippery. Big tips, quick, Bob.
Yes, Lions by 23.
Here's Mark Kennedy.
And Spencer gets proceedings underway. That's Dawson with the tackle, playing against his former side, of course. Over ball up. The ball didn't go far. Underneath, getting up with it is Lyons. Archie Smith just took front position there, did well. Smith couldn't handle it. That was Eli Smith, but coming back the other way was Aspley. They get it going forward their way. It was Stanley. And here's Stackelberg. Just tries to handball it inside there. Round the corner on the left foot. That was Templeton, the boy from Noosa, and it was a little errant just across the face for one behind.
Not a bad start for the Hornets. A quick movement there, Bob.
Yeah, good work, Jack Stanley. Very quiet last week, but good work, and I do like the play of Templeton.
Yeah, good player last week against Southport. Ball comes to the commentary wing. Lions, strength through Keys, handballs it off, and scrubbed over the line there by Toby Wooler, number 41 in the 2017 draft.
Yeah, Tommy Templeton, he come from Noosa last year, or the last couple of years, been very dominant in that competition at what do they call that one these days? QAFL?
QAFL? Oh, QFA, that's correct.
Yeah, that's right. So been very dominant. He was probably one of the premier midfielders there, so good to see him stepping up.
Got some flashes of brilliance last week, Bob, as Smith versus Spencer goes over the back. Louis Taylor just scrubs it towards the half-forward line. It was well read in the end by Tom Berry. He takes the mark, handball off to Cutler. Cutler just lowers the eyes. It doesn't deliver it too well. Dougie Lawrence cuts it off. Aspley should be away through Jackson Allen.
The 100th game up. That's probably not his best effort because Brisbane can repel here. They'll bring it back inside. Forward 50. Gross with the big fist. Coming out to meet it there. It's the boy from Ireland. Oh, no, in fact, it's not. It's McFadden.
Sounds like he's from Ireland.
Yeah, it could be. Of course, I was thinking of Madden, not McFadden. So ball up. 20 metres out from Brisbane Lions goal. They're attacking. Spencer did it easy. Just taking with one arm was Allen. The ball spills free. Berry round the corner. Across the face it goes, out of bounds on the full. So first scoring chance there for Brisbane. Not to be, and Aspley can bring it back in.
So Gavin Gross, who started the season superbly, the veteran, leading the Aspley defence, gets onto that customary left boot, hooks it towards the ruckman. It goes over their heads. It's a hefty kick. Great tackling effort there from the Lions. Smother completely any Aspley chance of moving it forward. Archie Smith rubbing the heads there of Noah Ainsworth as he pops up. So it's Spencer versus Archie Smith. Archie Smith would have to be in line for selection, you'd think, as Hampton brings it down the line. He gets cut off. Once again, it's cut off there by Noah Ainsworth.
Ainsworth goes to Taylor. Now through the middle. Leicester to Lyons. Attacking through the L's there. The kick just falls short. And I was going to say taking a nice mark there on that occasion was Arnold, but he just fumbled it enough for the umpire to say that is not something I'm going to give you. And then the ball be balled up.
Yeah, Arnold had a big job last week on Mitch Johnson. It was a great contest. Johnson come out on top, but he's a good player, Arnold.
Ground level ball. Jono Giles goes in hard as he normally does. He's tackled there by Skinner. Once again, we'll get a ball up. Slippery conditions too, so we've had those showers early before the game. Sun out. Graham Road paddock looks very, very good indeed as the ball scrubs out towards Louis Taylor here. He leads the charge, but Hampton interjects. Good hands around his ankles, but then a shocking handball. Wooler back to Louis Taylor. He kicks long. Gross has got the sit and a great defensive mark. Really love the way he started this season, Gavin Gross.
Goes out to Payne. Spending some time in the back half is the accumulator, or the Max Payne. Hello to Maxine, who I know his mum will be watching. That's Warren, another one of the veterans. That kick probably wasn't one of the best. Touched, and it goes over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in.
Yeah, Noah Ainsworth there, the ex-captain Oakley Chargers last year, had a back injury in 2017 and is a real up-and-coming player for the Lions.
Fascinating ruck battle today. Jake Spencer, plenty of AFL experience, beaten by Archie Smith on that occasion. Payne, he looked like he was taken high by Tommy Berry, and that's the case there. Payne gets up, well delivered. Templeton, no, couldn't handle it. Slippery ball. Hinge applied the pressure. Bastanak has his handball just knocked down. And that was Dawson. Just gets a quick one out and finds Ben Warren.
Warren onto the right foot, sees Hampton. Skids past him. Billy Murphy touches it. Just made the umpire have a bit of a think about it. But the Lions will come away. Down the outer side now. Berry the target. Goes over his head. Punched. Skinner. Oh, almost taken a little bit high. Tackled indeed. The umpire says he might be holding the ball as James Ives has a good hack mid-air at it anyway. So Aspley on the outer side, really holding up as the Lions press. Nice long kick there and taken over the boundary line once again. Mitchell Hinge this time for Brisbane Lions. So it's a bit of a arm wrestle stalemate kind of start. Nobody's really pressing that hard in the midfield or towards the forward line, Bob.
No, not at this stage, but that's a good start for Aspley. They haven't let them jump out of the blocks. That's good for their encouragement, I'd say, from here on.
Ball came down and Lyons took first possession and then was just set upon, so the umpire will do it all again. If you've just joined us, we've had lots of showers in the lead up, but the ground might held up well, so if you're seeing a bit of slipping and sliding, you know why. Bastanak just clears the area. Tommy Berry, he just clears it with his feet. Goes long inside forward 50. And the ball just falling short there of Keys. And that was well done there by Jordan Arnold.
Just a bit of a wasted disposal there, a bit of a sideways wobbler. Jono Giles now had a haircut and did the mow this year. Beautiful pass too. Connor Stackelberg in the middle of the ground. Sees a target he likes and why not. Delivers it to Freeman, who couldn't quite take the mark. Slippery conditions, as we say. Cutler picks it up, scrubs it forward. Nice mark taken by Eli Smith. He goes back to Cutler. Long kick, just into the path of Berry to left half forward. Cutting it off there was Gross, but Berry goes back, gets it. Actually balanced it on his head as he spun around, and that's caused the turnover. Aspley got it through Arnold.
No sealed tricks here. Not that any are going to work today. Not in that time anyway. So Dawson gets it short, goes to Warren. Not a bad crowd building here. And Vox on oval. Lions. Well, it was Matty Eagles coming over the top, flying over the top and just affecting the spoil. Have a throw in. Just forward to centre or half forward out of side. Aspley attack.
So only the one behind apiece. Oh, sorry, just the one behind. And this goes to Aspley. Lions yet to score. Once again, ground level conditions. Templeton tries to scrub it out. Well played there by Ives. He got it back out to Templeton, so now it goes back to Ives. Inside 50, 45. He lays it back and one behind. It was actually a really good passage of play there from James Ives. He follows up some good form last week, Bob.
Yeah, he certainly was. And Liam Dawson started well against his old team. That'll give him a lot of confidence for the contest.
The Eagles just brings it in. Didn't think it was going to quite find his target, which was Wooler, but it just got his hands down there. Goes to the outer side. Archie Smith does well. He's pushed over by Wolbers and just does so unnecessarily, and he will be charged with 50 metres.
So Archie Smith, what an athlete he is. Gifted by this 50-metre penalty, can drive the Lions into attack. Opts to handball to Cutler, who delivers a low ball over the heads of everybody else. Gross read it well. He's going to get paid the mark. Even though he kept going, it was knocked out of his hands. Once again, he read it well, Bob.
Certainly did. He's been a rock-solid defender for Aspley for a number of years, and this year doesn't look any different, does it?
No, absolutely. So here he is, Jordan Arnold, the man with 2 first names. At left half back in front of the scoreboard, seeing Aspley lead by only the 2 behinds. Long kick down the wing, Freeman jostled well. Front and centre, Bastanak did well to get a handball off after a good tackle from the in, Tom Bolch, and the ball over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in.
Yeah, look, we mentioned a lot of players pushing for selection. We haven't mentioned the big fellas in the back half. Ballenden, Payne and Eagles. They're probably fighting for a spot at Harris Andrews with that hamstring.
Buffeting under the ball there was Archie Smith. Just open the passage now as Lester comes through. Chipping ball, finds Skinner. Right on forward 50. Has Coleman there and just measured nicely because Jack Stanley couldn't get there in time, and it is Keaton Coleman who can go back and try and shoot for goal.
Yeah, Cadeen's had a very good start the first 2 games as an academy player with the Lions, a 19-year-old. Missed the draft last year, and he is a talent.
Comes in, left foot, no problem. And Keaton Coleman opens the scoring for the Brisbane Lions and opens the goal scoring for the game. And it is Brisbane Lions, a 1 goal straight, 6 points, leading Aspley 2 behinds. And we played 10 minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, good work there from Cutler. He's certainly given them, he and Lester are causing a few headaches for the Aspley midfield as we speak. And yeah, lovely kick there from Skinner. Been mainly a defender for the Lions since he's started in the NEAFL, but showing some signs up forward.
So the opening goal of the match goes to the Brisbane Lions. And once again, the sun is out here at Graham Road, Vauxhall Oval, and we'll get a fair bit of humidity after those early showers. Nicely done by Walbers out of the middle. Picked up there by Allison. Handball over the top. He gives it to Fullett, and it's under a lot of pressure. Turnover. Templeton got knocked down and holding the agate. One of those 50-50 calls, but it was a good tackle in the end. Mitch Hinge goes out wider. Was his teammate in Tom Cutler. Foot skills of the Brisbane Lions side have been on display over the first couple of weeks. And as soon as you say that, have a go at that. Have a go at that. Over the boundary line, have a throw in.
Put the knocker on them, Pricey.
Your
said
turn.
That.
Your turn.
You've said that. I'm sure Kanga will call it a bit more accurate than that with their kicking from now on.
Well, Michael the Moz Price. Walbers took front spot, just trying to burst through. There was Bassinak, couldn't do so. Ball at ground level, going nowhere. So the umpire will ball this up. I think after half time, if we get no more rain, this will really open up and be dry weather football. Bastanak gets the clearance. Skinner at front spot, comes down very awkwardly, but it seems to be okay. Ball in the middle, into forward 50. Keys is there. It was Berry that kicked it to him, and Keys just said, I'll just nudge it through. Thank you very much. He wasn't sure which way it was going to bounce. It skidded and was a bit too precariously close to the goalpost, so he a little bit of his best slipper work there. Gets the second on the board for Brisbane. Back-to-back goals opens up a 10-point lead. 2 straight, Brisbane 12, leading Aspley 2 behinds. 12 and a half minutes gone first quarter.
Yeah, Tommy Berry started very well. Namesake of the jockey up north, Kanga, isn't it, for a Sydney jockey, Tommy Berry, but brother of the Lions on baller, and he is a real player. Greater Western Victorian Rebels and a good player.
Yeah, Jared Berry, who started with number 13, moved up to number 7, and now Tom Berry's taken over the 13. So goes to Allison. Allison inside 50. Aspley got numbers. Good contest at the back, brought it to ground from Skinner. Now Aspley need to get it out. Coleman puts himself in, takes it over the boundary line.
What impresses me about Berry at the moment, Bob, is he looks like he can really cover the ground, but he's also got some real dynamic leg speed and some game-changing or real change of speed that can really infect a game.
Yeah, that's what they need, the Lions. They lack it in defence, especially last night.
There was leg speed, Hampton, but he couldn't quite control the ball. Ball spills now. Madden, the Irishman, gets it off. Louis Taylor, left foot, and that's a delightfully weighted kick. Good defensive effort there by Jordan Arnold. Keys now roves his own ball, gets it back to Cutler right on 50. So Tommy Cutler, he's got this, and the breeze is probably just favouring. You think, or he?
No, I think
a bit of a swirly.
A couple of kicks have actually held up going up to that the right of your screen there for mine.
Well, let's see how it works out, because he looks reasonably confident, unless he's just sucking in the big ones until he chips it to the top of the square. We'll see. But he's got a fair leg on him, Tommy Cutler. No, there he goes. Adjusts. Well called, Kanga. And he just adjusted and hit Bastanak, who's 45 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, danger signs here for Aspley, isn't it? They're really started to get on top across that midfield. The defence has been rock solid. Hinge has been defending well, as has Answorth, and they just can't get through at the moment, Aspley.
So Ryan Bastanak, 121 odd games with North Melbourne, and plenty with the Lions over 45 as well. Leans back, and there you go. I've pumped him up, and he's kicked a goal. Bob, I'm back on board. 3 straight, 18 to 2 behinds. The Brisbane Lions leading Aspley. Here at Vox on Oval, this is NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Beautiful day now that the showers have cleared. Mark Kanker-Kennedy got some stats for us.
Yeah, I do. Ryan Bastanak, he's had 7 disposals early, including 4 clearances. So you talked about that midfield there, Bob. He's been one of the prime movers. Berry's had 6, as has had Cutler and Louis Taylor. A couple of nice touches there with 4 touches. Matty Payne, he's had 5 disposals, a couple of tackles there, including a clearance. And James Ives, he's had 4, but 3 of those have been clearances. So here's some of the numbers to get us moving. We're back away. Smith went to ground, but still managed to get a handball away. So well done him. That was Archie Smith. Here's Billy Murphy, the man bun. He just says, have a man bun this way, a man bun that way. I'm out of here. Either way. Just taken down on that occasion was Batchelor. It's back towards Big Spencer. And there, Allison couldn't quite get an effective disposal away from Brisbane. Not taking it with him was one of the other Brisbane players, but they'll come away eventually now. And this will be Hinge, just wheels around on that left foot and has Cutler with a bit of room to move here. Has a man over the top. It's Keys. They've got men all free, and Keaton Coleman is one of those, and he takes a mark some 45 metres out from goal on that outer side.
Yeah, good movement of the ball, wasn't it? The long kick from Hinge was really gave his teammate a real chance to get it, and quick hands there and a nice pass from Ben Keys. And Keaton Coleman could kick this. He's a lovely kick at goal.
So he gets very close to the man on the mark. It's touched off the boot, though. So the umpire, it was Gavin Gross, getting very close there and affected the kick. So 1 point there moves the margin to 17 points.
Well, you called it early, Kanga. He did go right close to the man on the mark. It did affect the scoring. It was a good kick in the end. Well presented there, Ballenden. The ball spills. Craven roves it, slung off the tackle by Bastanak. Didn't even make connection with the boot, therefore incorrect disposal. Great tackle, Ryan Bastanak. Goes back out to the fat side and finds Tom Cutler. He's got the lead on. Honours that lead. Under a lot of pressure there. Tom Joyce, who's the late in. He's taken number 40 in the 2018 draft from East Freo. That's a well-measured kick to Coleman, but cutting it off there, coming through, was Liam Dawson, the former Lion. A little bit heavier this year by the looks of things, Kanga, or is it the Kelvin Matthews going from Hawthorn to Geelong to reading?
The hoops? You think it's the hoops that add a couple of kilos?
I think the hoops.
A couple of pounds.
Hoops add a couple of kilos, absolutely.
That's a nice kick. On the outer side. Finds Batchelor out there. In fact, it's not Batchelor. It is Arnold. He goes long down the line. And just standing up when others went to ground was Ballenden. He gets the ball back to Allison. They're just trying to open up this commentary side of the ground. Just finds Louis Taylor. They've got the man on now, though. And here's Jacob Allison, just burns one off. In fact, it was the Irishman. I'll get him right. It was Madden, and that's a nice mark there to Eli Smith, almost right in front of us.
Good disposal from Madden there too. Eli Smith, surprise in the draft. Good body size, long down the line. Good leap, good mark. Umpire pays it. under a lot of pressure there from Jordan Arnold. Was a good mark taken there by McFadden. Handball back into Eagles. Barely hit his toe as he puts it inside 50. Giles picked it up. Ball knocked out immediately. So go to ground again. Putting himself in really hard was Tom Fullerton. Well, Henderson came out for Aspley, tackled to the ground. Lucky not to be pinged. Craven, he taps it back to Templeton. So hot ball inside 50 for the Lions. Cutler shrugs one off outside of the right shoe, if you don't mind. And then it's a behind. So it's 3-2-20. Playing two behinds.
Yeah, great pressure there from the Lions forwards, wasn't it? They just would not let Aspley get that ball out, and Cutler on the outside of the shoe tried to do a miraculous kick, but no good. Here's Eagles.
Eagles, that's a second one he's wasted in a row. The first one barely hit his foot, and that one was aimed at the scoreboard, which is a little bit awry, fair to say, of the goalpost, a bit further afield. Bring the ball back here is Jack Stanley, up towards Eagles. Can't take it on that occasion. Jono Freeman stands over the top, and plenty of players on top of that.
It's a bit of a swirling breeze now, guys, so you can see there's one flag down at the scoreboard end that sort of sees it blowing straight across the field. I'll get your read on it as we go along.
The Lyons and Dawson both cuddle each other. No clear winner there. Berry just gets the clearance. Over the top there was Wooler. Couldn't quite pluck it. Skinner stands in the tackle, then gives it off to Eli Smith. Intercepted by Henderson. Toy just off the one step, gets around one, but only manages to get it back to Matt Eagles, who's been in the play a fair bit recently. It's a better kick and finds Ballenden right in the middle of Fox on.
Third time lucky there for Matty Eagles. He's a bit of a brick when you in defence. Can't pass him as the Lions going to go back in through Allison. Or it could have been a nudge in the back. No, nothing happening at ground level. Eli Smith goes in very hard, holds up the Aspley player, and will get another ball up as Templeton comes up with his jumper askew. So 40 metres out, Lions pressing yet again. Tapped down by Spencer. Well, rove by Keys, and he was pulled off the ball as he got his kick. It wasn't Keys, in fact. Coming through now was Joyce. Aspley, plenty of numbers at ground level. Louis Taylor gets in there, a little bit of a stacks on, and we'll have another ball up just inside 50 for the Lions. They're pressing again, and they lead by 18 points.
Just no room for the Hornets, is there? As soon as they get the footy, they're tackled by 2 or 3 Lions, and the Lions are really on top.
That's a push in the ruck contest, and Jake Spencer not particularly pleased about it, but winning the free kick there is the former basketballer in Tommy Fullerton.
Was he penalised for being stronger than Fullerton then?
Well, I think he took him off the line before acceptances.
Fair call, Kanga.
So right from 50, Fullerton, he just sets it up. And Skinner was the target. Also down there trying to have a crack at that one was McFadden. Is it McFadgen or McFadden?
McFadgen, I call him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Madgen.
I don't see a G in his name, but that's
Madden,
okay.
But it's the YD thing.
He's a local boy from Wavell Heights, not far away from here, Kanga.
That's right. Spencer gets a tap down there. McFadgen has a swing at it with his foot and only managed to put it out of bounds on the full.
So they're holding up okay, Aspley. The Lions have been living inside their attacking 50, Bob, but they've only conceded the 3 goals, Aspley.
Yeah, look, the conditions have probably impacted that a little bit. It's been pretty slippery and a little bit difficult to clearly get your kicks to space. But look, they're dominant, but without really getting right away.
So there's Fullerton. Gets the tap down. Dawson putting a lot of pressure on Lyons. Ball hits the deck. Still, Eli Smith comes up, extracts it, handballed out of Wallop. Key showing some toe, the left foot, and hooks it into the pocket. Out of bounds on the full. It just hit the behind post. It was not a bad play there to actually explode away from the pack and get a run at it. Lions by 3 goals.
Well, 85 possessions to 45. So that just gives you an indication of how much ball that Brisbane have had. And inside 50s, 16 to 5 as we see Aspley bring it away. There was a gross to Jasper Craven, son of the former St Kilda player and Danny Craven, and icon in Queensland footy these days. Eagles misses his target. Coming through, there was Aspley up towards a big boy in Walbers, and he'll win the free kick for a block. Had no eyes on the ball. So a big Will Walbers, the engineer.
He, Kanga, you missed it last week, but he did a beautiful left foot inside pass to set up a shot at goal for Aspley. It would have been one of his first left footers in the NEAFL, I would have picked, but it got on his boot beautifully.
45-degree angle. In or out, Pricey?
I'll back him in. Why not?
So Will Walbers. Distance, I don't believe, will be a problem. Little bit awkward. But as soon as Michael Price said it, I knew he was going to pull it.
He had no hope from then, did he? He was gone.
He was gone. So the Lions come back in, bury it right half back.
Lucky he didn't pick Winks to win last week, because he would have hooked that one too.
Well, geez, I could have got a nice bet on there somewhere. As the ball comes to commentary wing. Oh, well done. I actually applaud that from Dougie Lawrence. He was a bit of a sitting duck and wore that very strongly as the ball went over the boundary line. So we'll get the ruckman again. Big Will Walbers, who I will be reticent to tip that close to goal ever again. He's got in the ruck against Skinner. Walbers, strength. Gets the ball down, Batchelor. Corey Lyons went in and under. Batchelor again tackled by Bastanak, and he pulls a little wrestling move on, and we'll get a ball up in a similar spot.
Just looking at a couple of those recruits for the Lions, Eli Smith and Callum McFadgen, they got fantastic builds, haven't they? They're big boys for 18 years of age.
There's a high shot against Will Walbers on that occasion on Sam Skinner. Thought he was unlucky actually there, Will Walbers. Didn't look there was much in it. So Skinner just chips the ball inside there. Madden, he can put the skates on. He is very quick, but that is, I was going to say not a handball, and it wasn't. I still don't think it was. Skinner, Berry, in the path of Keaton Coleman. Picks it up nicely, feeds it back to Keys. Keys looks inboard, finds Eli Smith. What do you think of that handball from James Madden here, Bob?
Well, it was inventive, to say the least. Definitely left his mitt before it was hit by the clenched fist, but the umpire was probably not in the best position to call it.
I think he was blindsided, dead right, Bob.
And we did have a fantastic view of it here on NEAFL TV, thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Eli Smith it is, comes in, leans back. Is it online? Just fades across at the last moment, and they extend their lead. Now it's out to 18 points as Aspley bring the ball back in, and this is Matt Payne with the ball.
The Triple MVP playing in defence so far in 2019 and doing a bit of a bang-up job and filling in the midfield. Pretty handy fill-in. The ball's going to come back. Jackson Allen. Long kick towards the commentary wing. Dawson, and it was Gross at the front. Could have been pulled down there by Madden. Ball hits the deck. Aspley move it out. Templeton, well tackled. Oh, Bastanak copped a kick in the head as accidental, of course, as the ball went forward. Ryan Lester, he can't pick it up. Hampton can. Gives it to Warren. Gives it to the in Bolch. Bolch chipping, pass, and good defence there from Matt Eagles. Except it was classed as a chop of the arm, so he'll get the free kick, will John O'Freeman. One of those really hefty contests that can be paid or cannot, just depends. So John O'Freeman, this is going to be a brilliant kick if he can do something with this. Methinks he might pop it up, but you never know. He'll have a crack from 50, and it hooks violently and goes out of bounds on the full. You can sort of see that going for the extra distance and the big hook, Bob.
Yeah, look, he's got a big task down there today, hasn't he, John O'Freeman? He's going to be the target of many of Aspley's forays forward, but he's got Ballenden to contest with, Eagles and Skinner. They've probably got a chance to even throw him back, so plenty of tall timber down there for the Lions, and even Payne.
So they bring it back in. Jacob Allison, Lyons, Eagles it was with the big fly, trying to burst through. That was McFadgen. Lyons. Now they lose it. Billy Murphy feeds it inboard. Finds Batchelor. Batchelor has an open look at it. Just put it to the near side. And as we saw from that John O'Freeman kick, the ball is just pushing across just that little bit.
Yeah, he had to kick that at the right post, goal post, and it would have gone sailing through. But poor miss in the end.
Jacob Allison just honours the lead of Ryan Lester, hits him on the chest. Just content to hold the ball, the Lions, keep possession. Look, Corey Lyons, he takes it around his ankles. Still deep inside their own defensive 50, the Brisbane Lions. They lead it by 17 points. He goes to the outer side. Good body work there from Fullerton, and ball hits the deck. So the Aspley get a chance. No, the kick's cut off there by Cutler, who does the old 1-2. Has a bounce. Handball off. It's going inside 50, and well done there by Jordan Arnold, who got back and fisted it towards the goals. He's going to save the day again as Skinner comes in and applies the pressure. So Rushers are behind, and that's all good. So 3-4-22 plays 4 behinds.
Cutler's got that dash, hasn't he? That's exactly something the Lions have been lacking at senior level. So he's started very well in this first quarter.
That's a booming kick out from Jackson Allen. The siren sounds. And it's been a lot of Brisbane in this first quarter. They lead at the first break, 3-4-22 to Aspley, just the 4 behind, so an 18-point margin. Possessions just going Brisbane's way, 107 to 65. Inside 50s, 18 to 8. And some real midfield dominance, Bob. That's really been the tale, I think, of the way that quarter panned out.
Yeah, look, they're certainly on top in most positions, aren't they? Aspley are just hanging in there, aren't they? Like last week, I know Daniel was very pleased with their endeavour, and it was a big improvement on week 1. They didn't finish on the scoreboard. They were very inaccurate. But look, the endeavour's there again today. They just can't get their hands on the footy all that often and get any clear passage of play.
Got the goal scorers, the Brisbane Lions, only the 3, Ben Keys, Ryan Bastanak, and is it Kadeen or Keedon?
I'd call him Kadeen, K-I-E-D-E-A-N. But
there you go, Coleman. But he's
problematical.
Got some toe, and he's problematical for the Aspley defence too. That's the thing, and if we have a look at last night's proceedings in the AFL with the senior side of the Brisbane Lions, you'd probably see the blokes like Tom Cutler, Louis Taylor, Ben Keys, these blokes, they're putting their hands up in the first quarter and saying, I've got the toe and I've got the skills, what about me?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. And just some of the leading possession getters. Tom Cutler, he has had 11 disposals in that first quarter, including 3 inside 50, so carrying the ball well. Tommy Berry, we spoke about him during the first quarter. He's had 10, as had Ryan Bastanak. He's had 4 clearances to go with his 10 disposals. And Matt Payne on the other side at half-back, the little general. Little master blaster from the back half of the ground these days. 8 disposals in that first quarter for Aspley. Jackson Allen right at the back half of the ground. He's had 7. And then Gavin Gross and Ben Warren, they both had 5 apiece. Interestingly enough, they're playing in defence, so no great secret there.
So it is a big defensive effort from Aspley to actually hold the Lions to 3 goals. Plenty of possession inside their forward 50. We'll have a look at a little bit of a break right now. Come back to that second quarter very shortly on NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. Welcome back to Vox on Oval at Aspley Graham Road, and it is NEAFL TV through Bar TV. At quarter time, it's the Aspley Hornets trailing the Brisbane Lions by 18 points, 3-4-22 to Aspley 4 behinds. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action, and Bob Betty with the special comments. Bob, Lions really strong first quarter. The Aspley Hornets held them up though.
Yeah, they really got to cut out that outside run from Cutler, Taylor. Eli Smith was really got into it, and they're looking dangerous, the Lions, but Aspley have held them fairly well, but I would say that Lions have got the scoring end with the breeze.
Just noticing a couple of the Lions senior players, Oscar McInerney and Charlie Cameron, just milling around, giving their support to the boys as well. Well done, Mark Kennedy.
Yeah, as they should. Just off the deck, tried to go Jono Giles, couldn't quite do so. In there, Bastanak, and taken high as Lions, so he'll win the free kick. The chance to a little bit of run and carry. Lester was the man running for him, as well as Allison. Not to be, though. Little short chipping ball. This finds Hinge. Goes on his favoured left. Cutler's the target. He's out there, but the cavalry come. Lawrence, he's in there now. Just pushes the ball forward. He'll be happy to take it out, but he can't do so. Archie Smith, he just fumbled it and then fell into the back of Doug Lawrence. And the ball in there. Jackson Allen, got to be careful, did well in the finish. Got it to Templeton. Ball over the back there, and Jack Payne. It was touched off the boot, though. Ballenden. A little dodgy handball. Got it off. It eventually found its target, and eventually it's found off with Hinge. Hinge is off to Keys, and off to Allison again.
Well, Allison inside 50, and the pass. Bastanak, he lowers the eyes again, and Tommy Cutler, who's racking them up to start the game. So the Lions really effective inside 50 there, and just bit them with the big turnover on the outer side, Bob.
Yeah, it certainly did. As Kango rightly called, it was an ordinary handball from Connor Bellman, but it managed to get over to Answorth, who kept it going. And Cutler's on fire. He's I don't know who's playing on him at the moment, but they need to man him up a bit better than that.
From about 40, strikes it, and it goes way left. You can see a little bit of the effect of the breeze, but I don't think the breeze is going to kick it back that much. Out of bounds on the full. Aspley will get the free kick in the right back pocket.
One player that does need to lift for mine is Liam Dawson. We've hardly cited him. He's had the 2 disposals playing in the midfield. Needs to get in and under. And the kick back in, just swirling in the breeze. Freeman went up, trying to come through as Templeton. Gets it back to Warren, in turn to Payne. Payne just kicks it up, almost up and down the one spot. Standing under there was Payne, and it's the other Payne, Jack Payne.
He's huge, Jack Payne, isn't he? What a size he is for a recruit. He's 197 centimetres and 101 kilos. You wouldn't steal his beer in a pub.
No, well, Freeman and Payne would have been doing those beach weights together at Noosa there, Kanga. They're both Noosa boys.
Love the curls. And, of course, doesn't mind a muscle car either, John O'Freeman. And winning the free kick here is Lyons again. The first one at start of the second quarter, and that's downfield.
That's just
that's just silliness on behalf of that occasion, Jono Giles, and it just allows Tom Fullerton to be able to go down and have a nice easy shot at goal.
Yeah, another Sunshine Coast boy with another tall athletic boy from the coast. You'd know
Caloundra.
all those ones,
Yeah.
Kanga.
Yeah, Caloundra, of course, went off. Very talented basketballer, but a very talented footballer he was in his junior days as well. And he just slides it through, showing his talent on the football field. And I think we're going to see a lot more of Tom Fullerton as the season progresses in terms of his progression. Was my wonderful thoughts about Tom Fullerton were, for a guy so tall, even at junior level, he was exceptional below his knees.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I can remember him up at Dalby playing in the schoolboys, Queensland schoolboys competition as a 14-year-old. Absolutely dominant, him and Connor Ballenden. So they've come through the program. He stopped going in the program. He actually went basketball, and as Lyons kept a trace of his work, and they've managed to get him back in, and he's a talent.
So back in the middle, Archie Smith jumps all over the top of Spencer. Aspley player taken without the ball. I think there was Reece Toy playing. So it's the Aspley Junior. And he chips it forward and finds another one. And, Redcliffe Junior, I suppose. Liam Dawson kicks it inside 50. Freeman just nudged underneath it. It was good work there by Payne. Ball hits the deck. Eagles. That's a left foot wobbler towards the boundary line. It does favour Liam Dawson. couldn't quite grasp the mark under a lot of pressure from Hinge, and we'll get a throw in. Just in front of the Aspley benches, they'd be working that whiteboard a fair bit there, Kanga, at quarter time.
Yeah, it would be, because they just need to get the matchups right. And as Bob Batty alluded to earlier, stop that outside run and try and get the ball going on their terms. Spencer just tried to hit it down to Toy, but it just took off once it hit the deck, which is a good advertisement for how well the ground's come up, considering how much rain we've had.
Yeah, those showers, Bob. I was here, I arrived just as they started. I couldn't get out of the car for 10 minutes, and then once the sun came out, the drainage here is superb.
And Toy, he's just wrapped up. Ball spills out. Eli Smith, well done there. Wooler, and off to Leicester. And a half forward now, one-on-one contest. Fullerton just beaten by Gross's fist. Skinner over the top down to Louis Taylor. Just sits it up. The ball just swings in the breeze and just lands inside the boundary line. So just give you a bit of an example of where the breeze is actually heading to as you watch us on NEAFL TV, thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV.
Yeah, look, it's picked up, hasn't it? It's really blowing across into our commentary box, and really in that first quarter there was probably no breeze at all. So Lyons have got to adjust here with that far side, I would think.
Jake Spencer, you see that shallow throw in as a result of it as well. Toy gets it onto the left foot, goes up and down. Could have got a free kick there, Taylor, nothing happening. Warren gets the handball back. Pushed after he affected that handball. It gets the Dawson. He chips it to Payne. Payne now. Handball, Templeton. Templeton loops one into the middle. Dougie Lawrence. Now they've linked up nicely. Back to Toy, and good smothering effort there by Ballenden. Toy butters up, but then turns it over. Eagles to Bastanak. Lyons down in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, this will be dangerous. And the young man in Joyce just gets a short one to Eli Smith. Out wider, finds Ainsworth. And now to Fullerton. Just unloaded as he kicked it. And just unbalanced. And just put it to the far side, out of bounds on the full. So a wasted build-up. Looked like a good one from Brisbane after the turnover.
Yeah, no, Reece Toy just trying to do a little bit too much there. They had the numbers. It was a fantastic inboard handball from Aspley through the corridor that got them into a good chance, but just didn't work out.
Well, Matt Payne went one way, then the other, and then kicked it back up. Skinner, handball back now. Oh, I missed that player who kicked that.
Cutler,
That's
I think.
Great. Was it Tommy Cutler again down the outer side? That was an amazing kick of the football. Just clipped the goalpost. One behind. So that breeze has popped up there too, and you can really feel it pushing straight across the ground as we see Gross play on.
So Gross comes out. Doug Lawrence is the target. Wooler was there as with him. Well done there by Templeton. Coming through his eye. Beautiful handball, but Stackelberg falls over it just at the wrong time. Lawrence is good to get it back there. Now Dawson off to Arnold. Arnold gives it to Billy Murphy, the boy from Box Hill. He goes in, gives it over the top, and the handball misses the target, which was Jack Coughlin. And that is a bad miss, Bob Batty.
Yeah, look, it's he was just probably a little bit. He could have had the shot himself, really. He
Cute,
too cute. I suppose the handball was on, but he overcooked it, didn't he, by plenty? And poor Coughlin just saw the ball dribble out of bounds. So they've got to take those opportunities, Aspley.
Here's another chance. Good tap down there from the Lions player. It's been called a free kick, and it went to the Lions for a shepherd, so play on. Advantage taken. It bounces, not kindly at all for Fullerton. He's got Gross to deal with. He keeps going, though. Gavin Gross uses all of his wily experience to take it towards the boundary line on a U-turn as well, and we'll get a throw in on the outer side.
That's a difference of probably 18 years of football as opposed to about 3 or 4 there. With the experience there of Gross, he used his body beautifully in defence.
Yeah, I don't know whether he found the fountain of youth in the off-season, but he certainly started 2019 with a bang. Walbers pushed out as he taps it down, gets it to Bastanak, in fact, from the opposition. It goes inside 50. The speed on the outside, Coleman went past him like winks and then kicks it through. What a ripper. He came out of nowhere. That was a great goal. 5-5-35, plays 4 behinds.
Well, speed demon. Wasn't he, Coleman there, Bob? Amazing. And that is just when you get the ball inside forward 50 and you can allow your runners open forward line to get there, and you take full advantage when you got assets like that.
Yeah, certainly so. And look, he's matched up on Matty Payne at the moment. So Payne would normally read the ball a little bit better than that as the bench yell out to Payne. But great work, Dean Coleman.
And 2 for him. Inside 50's 25-10. And here's Coleman again. It's a nice pass from Bastanak. Still just in that centre square. Just sits the ball up, looking for a tall target. The big fist on that occasion coming from Lawrence and Gross. A bit of dual fisting going on there. And out of play it goes, inside forward 50.
So nothing from the two great horse racing guys? I threw a Winks reference in and get nothing back.
Oh, that was beautiful, Pricey. Loved it.
Oh, come on, mate. I've got to get something. I'm standing on the mark, knocking them off their kicks. So well done. Here's John O'Giles. Good handball. No, Hinge just taken down, thrown down, in fact. And that's 50, actually. He threw it to Bastanak, James Ives, instead of giving it back to the player involved. Technically should be a 50-metre penalty, but Mitch Hinge is going to have a crack. He's going to, if he does have a shot at this and not pop it up, he's going to have to aim at the right goalpost.
You'll kick this.
Yeah, well, Kanga's...
Mate, I'm not going to say a thing. Kanga said he's kicked it. We'll just go back and watch Mitchell Hinge kick the goal. 21 disposals last week. The left foot, he certainly did kick it, out about on the full by about 10 metres.
That was worse than your predictions
I'm just
previously.
staying out. I'm staying out all day, and I'm a chance to get them 100% right.
Now, all we've got to do is call them as we see them and stop predicting them. That's the end. That's the end. 35 plays 4. It's 31 points the margin in favour of the Lions.
Just one thing, the Lions have 3 or 4 times now come to this non-scoring pocket with their kicks. I think they'll be better served going out wider.
And Coleman just smothers the gross kick and then butters up again. This time he's tackled by Jack Stanley. And they've still got it, Brisbane. Eli Smith. Just quick one up in the air. Wooler's under it. Gross needs to arrive, and he can't quite get there quick enough. And just judged it in the air, just a fraction better on that occasion, did Toby Wooler. And you'd suggest that barring a mishap of a miscalculation like I did with Mitch Hinge's kick just before, this will be Brisbane's 6th goal.
Yeah, the grandson of the great Fred Wooler, who was the premiership captain of Geelong in 1963. Ex-captain of the Oakley Chargers, this boy. He should kick this one.
Recruited last year, comes in, had a late start to proceedings last year due to injury. Well, it's good to see him doing a full pre-season. He's kicked a goal there. And as I mentioned, that is the 6th for Brisbane. Aspley yet to kick a goal as Brisbane moved to 6-5-41. Aspley 4 behinds. So the margin out to 37 points. Real dangerous here for the Hornets on their home deck on Good Friday.
Yeah, it is dangerous, Kanga. Like 3 goals in 28 minutes in the first quarter. They've kicked 3 in 12. So it is dangerous times here for the Aspley Hornets. They need to get on the scoreboard and do it quickly.
So it's like in case of emergency break glass, Matt Payne into the midfield now. He's going to be up against Tom Berry. See, 2 very nice haircuts in Liam Dawson versus Eli Smith there to the left of screen as Walbers gets it down. Hampton just injected himself, couldn't quite get the ball on the way through. Ballenden gets buffeted off it as he tries to bust through as well. Payne now, John O'Giles by hand. Ives on the left foot inside 50, just misses Freeman. Eagles very close to him. It goes over the boundary line for a throw in. Left forward pocket for the Hornets. They need this one desperately.
What I noticed there was some real intent of physicality in that contest, both from players coming off the line and also through the middle of the ground, particularly from Aspley. I want to make a statement that they won't be bullied on their home deck. Over the back of Walbers. Payne just gets it going his way. Just pulls it. Unfortunately, a little bit too to the near side. And just the one behind. So they move to 5 behinds against 6-5-41. The lead is 36 points.
So the Lions to bring it back in. Lester plays on. Long kick. Fullerton at the back. Got both hands to it. Front and centre. Good roving there from Madden, the Irishman, got the ball out. Now the Lions down there through Taylor. Keys takes the mark. Tackle plays on. Good chain of hands. Coleman. Now Cutler. Cutler has a bounce and just lowers the eyes. Dribbles a floater in there. Here's Wooler again. He's just kicked one. He's going to get another. Good transition from the Lions. 7-5, 47, 5 behinds to Aspley. We've played about 15 minutes of this second term at Voxon Oval on NEAFL TV. Bob Batty, good movement.
Yeah, look, it come from a creative handball from the Irishman in the back half here. Young Madden, James Madden, very good hands inside. Keys took the brunt of the tackle from the Aspley players and quickly moved it on. Coleman was involved. Good work from Cutler. He could have blazed away from the non-goal kicking pocket, but he didn't. He looked inboard, and good finish there from Toby Wooler. That'll lift his confidence 2 in a row.
So possessions 154 to 100. Inside 50s 27 to 11. Clearances 17-11. All Brisbane's way. Hit-outs going 18-9. Aspley's way, though. Another one, Jake Spencer. We'll give that one to him. Hayden's in amongst it there. Payne goes down on his stomach, but can't affect anything worthwhile. Louis Taylor gets the ball inside forward 50. Skinner's there, just stands under it. Lawrence, he just went to ground, and luckily for the Hornets, the ball dribbles harmlessly over the boundary line in their forward pocket, right in front of their clubhouse, and they attack the Lions.
Well populated now. Beautiful day now. You wouldn't have thought it was raining before. Ground's come up a treat. The throw in. Spencer once again wins the tap. Payne gets there first and very influential, even though he's taken over the boundary line. He's putting his stamp on it in the last couple of minutes, Matthew Payne, since they've moved him into the midfield, as you would think. Triple MVP. Let's see what happens here for the Hornets at half forward, desperately requiring a goal. Spencer gets rid of Skinner. Ball hits the deck. Giles shuffles it out. Could have been a free kick there to Aspley. Toy dealt with after he kicked it. It is going to be a relayed free kick. There's no Aspley player around to take it. So Stackelberg says, yeah, I'll take it, not a problem. He comes in. Doesn't go for the handball. He goes for the longer kick, and that's a 2-on-1. Sets it up for the Brisbane defence. Unfortunately, they couldn't clear it. Handball goes there off to Coughlin. Has a ping at him and just misses wide. So they're doing it in increments of 1. They hit 6 behinds. That equals a goal. The Lions got 7 of them.
Yeah, look, they haven't had many forays forward. Kanga mentioned the inside 50s. And when they get their chances, they've got to take them. And then, as you said, 6 behind's not a good return for 6 shots at goal.
Jack Payne it is, brings it down the commentary side of the ground right in front of us here. Just getting a glancing blow on it was Doug Lawrence, and happy to take it over the line. So we'll get a good look at this throw in, thanks to Bar TV, our broadcast partner. And of course, we're on NEAFL TV. Michael Price, Bob Batty, joining myself, Mark Kennedy, here this afternoon at Voxon Oval, where the Lions, they hold control. Jake Spencer gets it down nicely to Matt Payne. Centre half forward, nobody looks at actually marking it to ground level. They all looked at it, and then Brisbane, they'll try and work it out. Madden does well, just measures it out nicely. Finds Corey Lyon, he just manages to keep it in. Down the line he goes. Wooler has kicked the last couple of goals. Has his kick smothered there. Well done by Reece Toy. Templeton. Well done there by Henderson. Just gets it back to Templeton. Measured kick. And finds Box Hill Billy. And they're away.
Needs to get more involved, does Billy Murphy. He's got the toe. Ives now on the left foot. Has the lead. That's a clip around the ear hole. Not happening. Matt Eagles just going away with the ball. Loops it over Ives' head. Gets it to Allison. He wheels around Walbers. Centres the ball now to Wooler. He's got plenty of room here as Louis Taylor on the commentary wing. It was just shut down by Warren, but he looked over the wrong shoulder when the ball was delivered. It bounces kindly for Taylor. He lowers the eyes in. He's got people everywhere. In the pocket, hits his target, and he once again hits Connor McFadgen. He wants to play on, goes back towards the front of goal. Dangerous kick, but it was well taken under a lot of pressure. Eli Smith again. Solid boy, Eli Smith. He's 187 centimetres. 87 odd kilos. I reckon he's got a couple extra ones there. Built for footy.
Yeah, look, he's been obviously milking a lot of cows. They're doing a lot of work up from the Murray Bushrangers there. Eli is a young fella and got a good size physique, and should slot another one here for the Lions.
He should. Going for his first goal, straight into the right goal post. One behind results. So 7-6 plays 6. 42 points the margin. Mark Kennedy.
Well, Brisbane just well in control here. 42 points the margin. Say Aspley needed goals. An absolute understatement at the moment. Jackson Allen, he'll bring the ball back in for Aspley. With the big, long right leg, only finds Archie Smith. So Brisbane can reload. Archie just puts it to that pocket. Again, where the breeze takes it. When it going with one hand, there was Fullerton. Jackson Allen, he clears yet again, goes over the head of Ryan Lester and rolls out of bounds. So we'll have another throw in.
Bombing it into that pocket, aren't they, the Lions? They probably haven't kicked many when they've gone that side. They need to get it over further onto the fat side, as we say, and try and get an easier shot at goal.
Yeah, ride that breeze in, so to speak. Spencer once again wins a tap, not to affect Wooler. He takes it, and Toy takes him. We'll get a ball up straight away. And they've been saying it the last couple of weeks, Spencer and Walber's been winning the taps reasonably well for Aspley, but that's not translating into clearances. They need to work that out. Spencer goes for the ball himself. Well done underneath from Corey Lyons, it was. Got the handball away. Good contest on the wing here. Toy, who's having a really good game for Aspley, trying his heart out. Can't quite hit a target over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in again. Just in front of the Lions bench, and they're leading this one by 42 points. We played 21 minutes of the second quarter.
Just can't get consecutive possessions, can they, Aspley? As soon as they get the footy, they're under the pump and really struggling to link up at all.
Toy just hits it over the back in hope as much as anything else. He was looking for Ben Warren. Lester comes through. Bastanak, little short one on the left foot. No real penetration. Henderson was there, but they've been beaten to it. McFadgen, clever handball. Bastanak again on the run. Louis Taylor. That's a nice spoil there by Jasper Craven, but Taylor, second effort. And chipping ball inside. Doesn't find Corey Lyons. Aspley can take it away if they're good enough. And I say only if. McFadgen is there. Ball. Bastanak, Taylor can't handle it. Jake Spencer, that's a nice little clever handball. Ives, he can relieve a bit of pressure, looking for a target and unable to find one in there. But the ball stays in and over the back it goes. Dawson to Freeman. They've got numbers. Murphy's in the middle. He looks at him now. Surely he can't mess this on. It has a player over the top. It's Stackelberg. They still could mess it up, but it bounces through. I thought for a moment if it took a leg break that it might have hit the goalpost or something, but not to be. And Aspley, at the 22-minute mark of the first quarter, score their first goal of the afternoon. It looked like a fair bit of hard work, I'd suggest, but they moved to 1-6-12, and the Brisbane Lions 7-6-48, the margin 36 points.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how they get in there, they're in the book, and they'll be certainly happy that they've at least broken that duck with their goal kicking. But yeah, look, good movement of the footy. I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago they haven't been able to manage 2 or 3 possessions in a row, but it was a smart kick from Dawson. He was under the pressure, quick toe poke, got it forward, and John O'Freeman found Murphy, and he did his best to try and miss it, but he bounced it through.
So much needed for Aspley. Ball propelled forward for the Lions. Oh, they're just getting in each other's way, trying to go for the ball there. Hacked inside. Louis Taylor, can he keep it in? No. Takes it over the boundary line. We're seeing a lot of that pace that we wanted to see, Bob, for the Brisbane Lions as well.
Yeah, just hasn't got into clear space a lot though, Louis, has he? He's run onto the footy a lot. He's used his left foot a lot too. Needs to maybe get onto his preferred right.
Throw in right on 50. Oh, Skinner goes up very high. Slaps it down in the path of Bastanak. He can't quite control it. Aspley through Templeton. Scores a try. Throw in right on where the 50 meets. And Skinner's hurt himself. He might have landed right on his coccyx.
I reckon he's just winded. Yeah.
Well, both doctors having a look. And
well, you're going to bring him off and have a look at him, I think. Just whether he hit his head or not on the way down.
Wasn't sure how he landed. It was very awkward. He got himself up in a very high position.
Yeah, Jake Spencer was arguing he's not one of those fireman's ladders. He should have been protected in some way.
So Spencer just wins a free. The hit there. Warren get from Toy and then wastes the kick there, and Ainsworth, he's been pretty good at half back there. Just switches it, finds Ryan Lester, has Hinge, and he's just swinging out wide. Hot pursuit there was Coughlin. The kick inside forward 50 was kept in there by McFadden. No, in fact it was, but it was thrown. The little backhander. Just flicked the ball back. Illegally, says the umpire, and Jackson Allen for Aspley can take the kick and kicks it straight to the man on the mark. But luckily the man on the mark was standing out of bounds at the time, which was probably good because otherwise it might have been out on the full. Well, how could it not be?
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
confusing myself now.
I'm confused.
Yes, you have. But yeah, no, good call, Kanga. It was a 5 metre kick that he did catch it in the mitt, and it's either out on the full or play on.
Well, if it didn't go the required distance, well, then it would have been.
Oh, I see. I'm with you.
No,
Good call, umpire.
No, I'm still
No, still I'm mystified. It should have been out on the full or play on if he was in.
Well, let's play on. Throw in. Fullerton out the back. He double fists it down. Gross puts himself back in. Can't control it again. Umpire James Strybos says there's a free kick. This time it'll go to Gavin Gross because he was held. So the wily veteran needs to call upon everything he knows today. Handball off now. And there's the 100 game of the co-captain, Jackson Allen, who kicks it out of bounds on the full. See, that breeze just straight away pushes it across the side of the ground. Cutler wanted to play on. Umpire said no. It's coming back here. So Tom Cutler, who's just had a cracking morning afternoon so far, comes in. That's a long right footer. Top of the square. Big pack and a great mark from Fullerton. One grab. Kanga, you have talked about this young man. Said he was dominant as an AFL player before he went to basketball, but that was a scintillating grab.
Yeah, it certainly was, and Bob sung his praises as well, to be fair. But he's got a lot of ability. There's no doubt about it. It's whether he can put it through.
And he does.
Yeah.
Goal number 2 for Tom Fullerton. That's a ripper. That's a quality grab too. And he moves very well for a big man. As you say, he's 199 centimetres and he's deceptively big. He's 92 kilos as well. So if he can take a grab like that, he'd be very popular.
He covers the ground pretty well too, so that's one of his other good features. And athletically, I know Luke Curran, the Lions Academy manager, was heartbroken, I suppose, when he decided to go basketball's way there for a good period of time. But one thing I know that Luke does is that even if they decide to go to another sport, he tends to keep in contact with them every now and then just to see how they're feeling about what they're doing. And in this case, it's been to the Lions to the real advantage of them.
As Smith just hoiks a 30-metre in the air kick. Bastanak one-handed against Dives. Goes back into the middle looking for Smith. Overcooks the kick. Billy Murphy gets it. Shoots a handball. John O'Giles under a lot of pressure. Back to Dawson. Dawson now. That's a nicely weighted kick. Finds Coughlin under pressure as he plays on. Gets it out there. So that's Stackelberg the older.
Yep.
Stackelberg the older from 40. Be a nice answering goal to get their second on the board just to keep them within the same suburb. Stackelberg. Seen him kicking from wide distances before. Lets it rip. Lets it rip. That was like a zip line, wasn't it? Beautiful work from Connor Stackelberg. Second goal for Aspley, 8:6:54 to 2:6:18. Late in the second quarter.
Yeah, good goal there from Connor Stackelberg. As we mentioned, is a thumping kick. He's got some real power in his leg. Sometimes inaccurate, but that was a beautiful kick. Exactly what Aspley needed. Just a turnover there from Ryan Bastanak. Took a beautiful mark, one-handed, used his body beautifully, just missed an easy target. That's the sort of thing Brisbane Lions did last night, if you remember, where Collingwood really hurt them on the rebound and went coast to coast with a number of goals from a poor kick like that.
Well,
so you've got to get that out of the game.
The one I remember is Hipwood trying to centre the ball last night and finding the umpire just about, which in turn ended up being a Collingwood goal. Just lying over the top of it is the Brisbane Lions player. No effort. That's Bastanak, and Will Walbers will be the man. Baby Huey gives it off to Payne. Payne goes wide to Gross. He's got the big left leg on him, but chooses to go low, but not his best effort. Stackelberg, the goal kicker, back to Payne. Now here's where they just got to be a little bit more effective. They go inside forward 50, looking for a target. And that was a push by Freeman, not picked up by the umpire. Cutler just goes back and kicks it high, looking for a target. And Jack Payne's there. Also there is Lester. And now there's just scrimmage there. And well done there by Aspley. They're just trying to hold it up there. And Lester gets it out to Bastanak, so Brisbane might be away.
Bastanak in the blue boots, goes one way, then the other, then measures a pass. Straight into the opposition, more or less. It's a long kick down the other side. Well done by Fullerton. There's the skills around the ankles you guys talked about. Comes back to him once again. He gets it below the knees. Handball to Keys. Third effort in this passage of play from Fullerton doesn't work out, but well done by the young man. Walbers, Lawrence, Gross with the left shoe. Walbers just gets that big mitt there, stops the ball mid-air, but that's a hacking kick and it's going to come back. Let's see if it comes back with interest. Allison, deft little touch, gets it off there, and more party tricks there from Noah Answorth, who shunted around behind his back, but only because of the pressure from Hampton.
Yeah, Hampton, not a bad kick, but not his best. Hayden, who's there, almost taken high on that occasion, was Bulch, and the umpires picked that one up.
Yeah, umpire Wetton didn't catch that one, but Andrew Adair, the furthest umpire away, called it.
Andrew Adair. Tom Bulch, the boy from East Perth. 19 years of age, comes in. Oh, he gives it to Jackson Allen, who really tries to let it rip. He gave it everything. From 50, he couldn't get the line. And I think we're about to get everything from the weather. I think we're getting a little bit more wet here in a moment.
Could come at a good time, this siren Kanga. It's going to dump, I think, in the next minute or so.
Yeah, that's right. So Matty Eagles, long ball. Fullerton goes high. Couldn't bring it down on that occasion with him. Walbers just coughed it up. Well done there. Offloaded there was Joyce. Now Coleman just has that change of direction. Did it nicely. Wooler, and that's not a good kick, and finds Gavin Gross as the rain starts to come down. And his kick, that's Gross's, and he finds Allison, spoils it. Hinge is dumped close to the boundary line, back to Wooler. And they're just doing a few things here. And working through his Ainsworth, kicks it deep. Right to the back, Skittles to the Brisbane Lions. Keys has it. Flips it up to Cutler as the rain starts to belt down. Craven's there. Cutler just dumps him. We'll have a stoppage.
Yeah, well, I think the big fella Skinner just about buried Fullerton there. He's had a good 5 minutes, Tom Fullerton, but yeah, he just about got smashed then as the rain comes down.
So here's Archie Smith. Gets the ball down. It's going to be a slippery affair now. Skinner. Lots of pressure. Payne over the top. He wants to call for holding the ball. Umpire would have been very, very hard on Tom Cutler then if he had called that. So we'll get a ball up right on 50. Very late in the second quarter. Lions by plenty, and the rain, well, it's 45 degrees in the direction to the left of screen, as you can see it. And the back door's open, and it's starting to come in everywhere. This is a ripping effort from the... If you saw the, I suppose, the frantic effort from the NEAFL TV and Bar TV team here to keep us moving. Very admirable indeed. Smith gets it down. Eli Smith, the other Smith, comes in and tackles Allen.
That's not very nice. The other Smith?
Well, Archie Smith I called first, and I said Eli, the other. There you go. Half time. And we need to take a quick break. We have to get things moving here on NEAFL TV. The Lions, 8-6-54. Aspley, 2-7-19. That's after the Lions led by 18 points at quarter time. We'll rescue a few things, go back, get some stats, come back and have the second half and a review of that first half here very shortly. It's NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Welcome back to Vox on Oval at Graham Road, Aspley. It is half-time in NEAFL, round 3. It is Aspley versus the Brisbane Lions. Brisbane Lions at half-time are leading by 35 points. 8-6-54 to 2-7-19. That's after the Lions led by 18 points at quarter time. Michael Price, Mark Kennedy calling all of your action, and Kanga, it's been a game where the dominance has really been with the Brisbane Lions from the outset.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of improvement late in that second quarter from Aspley, but the numbers are just telling us straight away that inside 50s are 37 to 18, Brisbane's way. Possessions 209 to 151. Clearances also going Brisbane's way, 21-17. They've just been far more influential in and around the contest, and the run and spread and carry from the Lions has far outweighed what Aspley have brought so far to the game.
It reminds me a little of last night's game, Bob Batty, the Encyclopedia of Queensland Footy, where the Lions weren't that bad against Collingwood. Collingwood were just very good, and we're sort of seeing that today. Aspley haven't been horrendous at all. The Brisbane Lions have just been superior.
Certainly have, yeah. Look, they've won the ball in tight, won the stoppages, won the clearances, and when they have got the footy, they've spread quickly and spread wide and really hurt them. And Cutler, Taylor, you had Eli Smith really winning a lot of the footy. You've had Bastanak. You've had a lot of them all winning, getting their hands on the footy. Just at times they went a little bit to the wrong pocket. I think in that second quarter they could have kicked probably 3 or 4 more goals that had gone out the fat side. But as we look towards the weather, I think it's going to get a little bit wet again in the second half. So Aspley have really got to put their nose to the grindstone and work hard here.
Yeah, to the right of screen it's quite dark, and above us some foreboding clouds as well. Hey, a thriller at Phillip Oval in Canberra as well for Good Friday football. We're celebrating it here today as well. Southport, the reigning premier, have got up by 1 straight kick against Canberra. They did it at the death too against Southport, 13-10-88 to 12-10-82. That's a couple of really tight games for Canberra. They look, but then against Southport, they were pressed here by Aspley, but they stand up when they need to.
Yeah, that's right. And by the same token, we saw Redland upset Canberra last week. We've seen some interesting results so far. I suppose sides are still yet to find their what we would perceive the pecking order is, I suppose, for season 2019. And I called the corresponding fixture last year, the first Good Friday fixture down in Canberra, those two sides again, and Southport absolutely towed them up. So it's good to see Canberra, who was a real surprise packet last year, bring that same competitiveness and that same ability to go into contest, knowing that they can win. And whilst they come up short on this particular occasion today, they are going to be a formidable foe for many sides this year.
I've said it before and only mentioned a couple of the Brisbane Lions players from the senior squad are down here supporting. Basically all of them are down here. I think it's magnificent. Chris Fagan as well, the coach with his staff, all down here supporting the NEAFL side, which I think is fantastic here at Vox on Oval. It is the Lions against Aspley, 35 points the margin. I can see a little spit of rain to the right of screen. Let's hope it doesn't get here. We'll start the second half. This is Mark Kennedy.
Ruckman just come together. It was almost like a netball jump-off, if you like, to Walber's collected Archie Smith high. So he will take the first free kick, or the first possession at least, of this third quarter. Just lobs it up inside forward 50. Ballenden couldn't take it. Keys at ground level, trying to push to the front there. Was Fullerton, does well. Goes around the corner. And that's 3 for Tom Fullerton. He just edged his way to the front of Doug Lawrence. The ball hit the deck from the marking contest and just snapped it up. And did very well, did Tom Fullerton.
Yes. We've spoken about his talents at ground level, and he showed it there, didn't he? The ball was in contention there in a marking contest. Lawrence did his best to get the ball out of the real danger zone, but Fullerton recovered very well, and a beautiful snap. Everyone's had trouble kicking goals that end. Not big Tom Fullerton. He's had no problems at all putting that one through.
And good physicality as well. Dougie Lawrence is quite a physical footballer, and well done by Fullerton to sort of get rid of him as he led to the ball. Good start for Brisbane, though. Archie Smith in the middle. He gets a little bit of a ride from John O'Giles. Ives, desperate, slaps it forward. It's picked up there by Allison, though. He kicks it inside 50. Keys at the back, hands in the back. Just steadied himself. Could have been a push out. Did he extend the arms, boys? Just asking.
Last year would have been a free kick for sure, but not this year. Jordan Arnold was
Just
sort
steady.
of just nudged off, really.
So Ben Keys, he's kicked one. Morningside and Redland NEAFL product. It'll be interesting to see how he progresses as well. He's had a fine start to the season himself. Let's go from just under 40. The left foot's a low spearing ball too. That's how you kick through a breeze. Well done, Ben Keys. That is the 10th goal for the Brisbane Lions. His second, 10-6-66, plays 2-7-19. It's now a 47-point ball game like that, bang, bang, after 2 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah, 2 goals in 2 minutes. 2 beautiful kicks, weren't they? One from a snap from Big Fullerton and one there from Keys. He used his body well. He just held his ground. As we said, last year was probably the umpire would have gave hands in the back, but wasn't forceful enough to give that free kick in the current ruling. Ganga?
Quick question, I suppose, a poser. Daniel Webster has started with Jake Spencer off the ground, and Will Wild was in the ruck the first 2 contests of, I guess, a pivotal part of the game when you're behind. Archie Smith just lays a big tackle down and illegally, says the umpire.
How strong is Will Walbers? He dragged Archie Smith 2 metres by one arm. Sorry.
Jono Giles, feats of strength thanks to Michael Price, the stories. As Brisbane, I'll take it out of defence. This is Corey Lyons. As Jack Payne a little bit wider. And Jack Payne talking about feats of strength up on the Noosa beach, just doing some beach curls. He and Jono Freeman just exchanging dumbbells up there. Ives comes away for Aspley, trying to push through a tackle. On that occasion was Giles. Now coming away was Madden for Brisbane. The old 1-2 gets it back, the Irishman. The kick probably wasn't his best effort, but it just falls short of Jack Stanley, who has to go back, try to mop it up, and he finds Jasper Craven on halfback.
Now the breeze is going very heftily towards the left of screen here, and the rain almost sideways that way as well. It's picked up there by Craven for Aspley. He did beautifully. Goes down the outer side. Diving effort from Stackelberg. Can't take it. Payne's all over him. And just holds it underneath. The umpire says fair enough. We'll have a jump ball very shortly.
Getting more confident each year, isn't he, Jasper Craven? This is probably his 2nd year in the Aspley side, and he just looks more at home each year, doesn't he?
He certainly does, boy from Maine. And it's Walbers who takes his opponent off the ball. Inside 50 it goes. Freeman made his way to the front. Too big for former teammate Ryan Lester, and he'll have a shot at goal from directly in front, about 20 metres.
Yeah, look, the funny situation there is Freeman's got 3 big fellas in, Eagles and certainly the big boy Payne down there, but it was Lester that was actually matched up to him. So a little bit strange there, but good work, Jono Freeman. They badly need this one.
2 goals, 3 last week. Freeman from directly in front. Goal umpire does a little work, but that's through. And Aspley answer a couple of quick ones from the Brisbane Lions with one of their own. 10-6-66 to 3-7-25. 41 points to the margin. 5 minutes gone, third term. This is NEAFL TV through Bar TV.
Well, it's an answer they had to give at some stage, didn't they? Just to fly the flag and really have a crack in there, because they've been outpointed for the vast majority of the day. And it is Aspley on their home deck, Jackson Allen's 100th game. And you want this to be remembered for the right reasons, not the fact that you were rolled over in a milestone game for one of your favourite sons.
Yeah, good work, Jono Giles. Twice now he's been rewarded for putting his body in at the stoppage and winning possession.
The free kick is going to go the way of Aspley again. And Jono Giles it is. Going to go low and hard inside forward 50, coming out to meet it there was Stackelberg, but in the way was Jack Payne. Coming through now Matt Eagles, just indiscriminate kick through it on the boot. Henderson's there, but coming through is Ballenden. Gross is right there with him, just upends him. Umpire says that's all right, you didn't have enough opportunity, as we're about to be hammered by the precipitation coming through the commentary box.
Yes, it is precipitating down, isn't it? Coming more or less straight across the ground towards the left of screen as well. Throw in, short, predictably. Archie Smith gets it over the top. Well done. Joyce gets it now to Louis Taylor. He sees a man that he likes. Kicks it to... Oh, in wet weather, thanks very much. The sticky fingers of Fullerton. Long kick. Beautifully directed kick as well. Against that breeze and the tide, as we're having a look at it right now. And a good mark has been taken by Toby Wooler. Good movement in the wet, Bob Batty.
Yeah, great work from Louis Taylor here on the wing, wasn't it? He hit the pack running. Kicked it beautifully into the breeze. Well judged by Fullerton. That's a great mark in defence. Jack Stanley would probably want his time over again that he didn't get the fist on it. And a beautiful kick to give Wooler a chance to get his third for the day.
Young Fullerton, Tom Fullerton, having a cracking game today. Wooler, he comes in, and that's how you do it. You just keep it low and kick it over the goal umpire's head. Simple game footy when you look at it like that. That is 3 goals now for Toby Wooler. 11-6-72 the Lions, 3-7-25. Played about 7.5 minutes of this third term on NEAFL TV through Bar TV.
Can't understand why my feet are getting wet. Yeah, but anyway, that's totally beside the point. But Brisbane just really kicking away here. 57 points, actually 47 points now the margin, I should say. And just in complete control. They've been very good around the contest, been very vigorous at ground level as well. They've got a tall side in, but they're just going hard at it. Go again, Archie Smith. It's the clearance. To half forward it goes. Commentary side of the ground coming through very nicely was Keys. On the burst is Louis Taylor. Tries to measure one up. Not his best effort, but finds Wooler nonetheless. Right to the goal square. Warren was knocked over, and happy to take it over the line and rush it was Daniel Henderson. So 48 points now the margin.
He does prefer to go on that left foot, doesn't he? Really, he had the chance there, Louis Taylor, to get on the right, but he used that left foot again where he probably could have even nearly handballed that far, Kanga.
Some good defensive work in their own 50. The Brisbane Lions take it back over the boundary line. You'll see the crowd that have all got into that dressing room sort of area underneath the shelter here at Vauxhall Oval. Joyce kicks it forward, just scrubs over the boundary line. We'll get another throw in. Nice Vauxhall scoreboard as well. It reads 11-7 to 3-7, so it's 8 straight goals now, 48 points. Throw in now. Gross at the back. Comes off hands. Nicely picked up there. Shunted across by... It was Ainsworth, sorry. It's inside 50 again. Once again, it's going to be balled up here. Stacks on as the umpires let it go as long as they can.
I like the fact that Coleman actually tried to claim that mark. That's confidence, and when things are going your way, you try and take them all, don't you? So Ballenden and Gross, and probably give it to Gav Gross at the back there, I'd think. Ballenden at ground level. Ball spills out, comes to Bastanak, and that's right to the teeth of goal and gets in as well. So the ball's spilling out of the clearance, and Brisbane are just there, and that's Ryan Bastanak's second goal for the afternoon. So they are just racking them up almost at will now, despite the heavy conditions. They're moving out to a 54-point margin.
What's been impressive in this quarter for Brisbane has been their precise kicking. It's a strong breeze. The rain is coming down, so skills you would think would be very, very difficult, but they've hit every target, and when they've had a shot at goal, it's been precision. So very good work, and just shows the work that they've done on their skills, Chris Fagan and all the coaching staff.
So as the rain subsides a little here at Vauxhall Oval, we go back into the middle. Ballenden down to Taylor. Taylor on that left again, favouring it, definitely. Kicks it inside 50. Gross fists it away. Lyons got the numbers. Coughlin can't quite pick it up for Aspley as well. Comes back to him. He gets slung off the ball. Now it's hacked down the outer side. Just reading it nicely and floating back behind the pack was Payne, Jack Payne. He goes laterally through the hands of Allison. Toy right up his clacker, then ended up jumping on the ball. Spills it out. Lester did well. Breaks away. Handball to Ballenden. He's got to the outer side there. Lester tackled into the ground. Sorry, Wooler tackled into the ground. Templeton knocked over. That's Lester. Hacks it forward. Louis Taylor on his own. Drops the pud. Then he has Jordan Arnold. He puts a bit of a shimmy on him. Lowers the eyes, delivers it lace out. That is a beautiful pass to a leading forward in Ben Keys.
And I'll ask the question, Michael, why use the left when you can hit the target on the right like that?
Perhaps he's been directed to show both sides of the body, Bob. I don't get it either, mate. Do not go it either. But Ben Keys, he's kicked a couple. Last week, he, by foot, 85%, kicked 6 goals, and that'll do it. He kicked a point. Just had to wrap that up. 12,880, 3,725. So it's 55 points the margin. He was 85% disposal efficiency last week, for goodness sake. Why wouldn't you say he might kick it?
Wasn't there a thing we used to say about the price knock that used to go on?
And the ball kicked back in. It was Jake Spencer and Ballenden right there. Ball spills out of bounds. And used to be a show called The Price is Right. What an oxymoron that is in this case. So the ball thrown back in. Walbers and Ballenden. Ballenden took front spot and he was grabbed onto by Walbers, so it'll be a free kick. I don't think that's any need for the engineer to make too much of an argument. It was there for mine. Ballenden low, inside forward 50. Jackson Allen, he just puts the fists, the double fister to it. Now to bounce it goes. Just didn't want the approaching Fullerton get involved.
Of course, Jackson Allen with his 100th game. Congratulations to him. Member of the 2016 NEAFL Team of the Year. Made his debut round 3, 2011 against Morningside. It's been a stalwart for the Aspley club.
That he has. Fullerton in the ruck. Front spot he took. Berry can't handle it. Working hard there is Templeton. And Toy going in, burrowing in, like a little ferret he is. And just manages to tie the ball up, and we'll do it all again.
Jess Webster reminding us that he was a former Morningside player,
Exactly right.
Jackson Allen. That's where he came from.
Yeah, but he ended up here. That's the main thing.
Well, at least for the Hornets. Bassanak comes on it, goes around the corner, right to the teeth of goal yet again. But on that occasion, it was just a little offline, but Doug Lawrence was happy to help it over nonetheless. Another behind that is for the Lions. And they move out to a 40, I can't add up, 56-point leaders. Jackson Allen.
Monstrous kick over the head of Ballenden, untouched. New rules, no free kick. It's a throw in front of the NEAFL commentary box. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy with Bob Batty for you this afternoon for Good Friday football. Just a reminder that the earlier game, Canberra hosting Southport, the reigning premiers, and they just got up in the last gasp by a goal, did Southport, as Aspley versus Brisbane here. Scrubbed forward now, it's cut off by Stanley, chips it forward, and there's Louis Taylor underneath it. He drops it, Pud, then basically recovers, shoots the handball way too hard in these conditions. You've got to have softer hands than that. Compounds the error by taking a player down in Hampton. Hampton will get the free kick. He's going to have to go forward hard. He's got a player by himself in Stackelberg. Well injected there, comes through, was Madden, the Irishman, but he couldn't quite deliver. Payne to Giles. Giles into the pocket. That actually Falcon Batchelor as they run away through Ainsworth. And it's Coleman under a lot of pressure, but at ground level, watch this, Kanga. Bang!
Yeah. Just back onto it quickly, wasn't he? Lester, short chipping ball. Can't find Ballenden in the middle of the ground. Henderson can't handle it. Berry's right there with him. The ball just like a cake of soap spills out eventually to Allison, or Lyons it was, who got it from Eli Smith at half forward now. And a couple of Lions. And they maul the Aspley player on top, and it's going nowhere right at half forward.
What I've noticed with the Lions of their recruiting, that they really get some players that can really get the ball at stoppages now, can't they? With Joyce, certainly they've really taken an impact with that, with Eli Smith and Joyce and players like that.
The ball comes out. Coughlin gets involved, gets it out to Payne, cleverly over the top to Toy. Called that a few times over the journey for Aspley. Madden just tries to punch the ball away. Eagles just tries to use his strength to get it out. Eli Smith to Lester. Just tries to tunnel it, pushing it out there. And well done. They'll come away with it here, the Lions. Out towards Ballenden. Just judges a bit better than Gross on that occasion. Just wheels and plays on straight away. But the kick just needed to be over the top. And he couldn't find his teammate, but only found Jordan Arnold.
So Arnold held up. He'll come straight down the line. 2-on-1 here. Payne just got rid of his opponent there in Batchelor. Then good spoil. Front and centre Dawson affected off the ball. And Fullerton just directed that over the boundary line deftly. I do like the way he moves, boys. I've been watching him a little bit closer since you sang his praises. And boy, he's come up with some good plays today. Kicked another 3 goals as we see the throw in. Archie Smith versus Walbers. Smith to the front of the pack. Then the throw in went over his melon. Back of the pack was Taylor. Couldn't control it. Hampton did, and then Taylor controls him, throws him to the ground. Umpire will ball it up.
I'd say the big fella Jake Spencer might be under... Oh, no, he's ready to come back on now. Yeah, I was worried about him with injuries, but that's not the case.
He's been back on already. Just come off for a quick spell. Overrunning it there was Allison. Taylor, he's dispossessed by Warren. Well done there on that occasion by young Joyce. Get it back, but they just couldn't quite control the Lions on that occasion. Ball spills over the boundary line.
Just a little thing on Joyce, a little tidbit of information. He, as a 17-year-old, was brilliant for WA at the Under-18 National Championships and had a hip injury all last year, but the Lions still managed to take him.
So no real clear winner of this contest. The Lions well in control of the greater contest, which is the game. Just burrowing in. A number of players around the ball, Coughlin being one. Getting up from the back there is Cutler. He's been one of the Lions' best today, and also the veteran in Ben Warren. Walbers, he got the better of that, but Cutler just streaks away with the ball, kicks it long, inside forward 50. And that, pretty fair to say, was a little bit careless by McFadden. And tempers being frayed and a little bit of box on at Vox on.
Well, a little bit of box on at Vox on. We've been waiting for that one, but the young man, McFadden, just is, he's attracted the ire of the likes of every Aspley player after that hit. The 50-metre penalty probably hurts him worse at this stage.
Well, you know, is that a worthy of a week?
Oh, I'd have to see a replay on that one, Kanga. I think it was a contest, but whether it was...
That was careless. There was no need for it. Is 50 enough, is my question.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. At this stage, yes. Jordan Arnold, long inside 50. Big pack. It predictably goes through hands to the back of the pack. Templeton, Batchelor, Stackelberg, tackled there. Nice tackle from Joyce. In fact, he picked his pocket and then passed it to Cutler. Couldn't take the mark. Warren, left foot, out of bounds on the full end or a mark. It is out of bounds on the full, so the free kick's going to go to Mitchell Hinge anyway. He'd taken the mark. Goes laterally to Allison. They're going to go down the outer side here through Corey Lyons. Gets the hand. No, is that another 50 for encroachment? Hang on.
That was a free kick. I think there was a little bit of stuff going on behind the play, perhaps.
Well, Corey Lyons just plays on.
And Ben Keys will come up with the free kick. Right. And Jackson Allen was close, so you can only assume it involved those two. There's a little bit of a wrestle behind play. Bastanak sees a target inside, just dropping what he should have taken was Cutler. In fact, it was McFadden, I should say. They might come away with it. Here's Billy Murphy, and he's just slung off the ball. McFadden goes again. Arnold's right there with him.
This has got the propensity to get pretty ugly here. Just behind the play, Jono Freeman and Mitchell Hinge engaging in a few of those, what do you call them, the jumper punches. So very interesting indeed.
Archie Smith gets it down. Joyce, little kick forward. Dangerous spot. Fulton can't handle it. In fact, it was Wooler. Gross comes away. He likes to clear it. Went with his non-preferred right foot on that occasion. Madden, he's slung around by Hampton. Might be in a bit of trouble. No, umpire says you didn't have an opportunity. So that'll be a ball up.
Funnily enough, 50 metres behind the play probably a minute ago, those two were wrestling on the ground and the ball comes out their side, and what do they do again? They've got a dislike to each other.
Oh, well, good competitive sport, this Australian football. Giles picks it up, did well to actually extract it from the clearance. Ainsworth overran it. Billy Murphy comes in, gets it. He's immediately just jumped on. He's got two on him, including Hinge, and we'll get a ball up on the outer side. Willing contest, regardless of the scoreboard. Aspley putting their bodies into it, Bob.
Certainly are. Look, I think they're a little bit frustrated because they can't really impact the scoreboard, and it's probably that's why it's becoming a little bit. Their frustration has probably given away a few free kicks, but good on them for having a crack.
I was just going to say the Lions have just given away a free kick through Allison. It was Payne. Gets it to Dawson. Dawson inside 50 looking for Freeman. It bounces away from both he and Eagles. Get a throw in the right forward pocket as we've seen a couple of interchanges happen for the Brisbane Lions.
The rain just abating. Need a few windscreen wipers on our windows in through, but no doubt your camera is seeing it beautifully. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. From Fox on Oval, it's the Lions well in control here over Aspley. Throw back in. Lester just takes it with one hand. Batchelor wrapped him up straight away. And that will be another ball up. So the margin sitting at a neat 56 points. Spencer just tries to get it out of the vicinity. Keys couldn't do too much with it. Batchelor goes at it. Berry was there, but well done there by Ives. Got it away. Craven inside forward 50. Skinner can't handle the slippery ball. Eagles and Keys, he couldn't handle it either. Matt Payne just picked up with one hand. He just does it nicely. Jack Stanley just pulled his kick nicely. Very nicely indeed. And found a target inside forward 50, and it is the former Lion himself and Aspley product in Liam Dawson.
Yeah, look, that was just beautiful skills, wasn't it, Matty Payne? Like, everyone was struggling. It was like a piece of soap, that footy. But he went at it with one hand, as Kanga rightly called, and beautiful handball, shot at goal Dawson.
So Dawson comes in. Not a difficult kick, and he makes it look, just as I described it, not difficult. Easy, in other words. And Liam Dawson gets his first one for the afternoon. And Aspley, they've added a few this quarter, but they haven't put a real dent. In fact, they haven't put any sort of a dent in the overall margin. They are 50 points adrift of Aspley, 12-9-81. Aspley are 4-7-31. We've played 24 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah, look, he would have been looking forward to this game, Liam Dawson. He would have put an asterisk next to this at round 3 against his old team. I really want to show something, but it just quite hasn't unfolded for him. But that could lift his confidence. Hopefully he has a good last quarter and a half.
So back into the middle we go. Ballenden versus Walbers. Falls in favour of Bastanak, who promotes it forward. Billy Murphy got in the way. Ainsworth back to Ballenden now. It's a floating torpedo wobbler towards right half forward. Will it skid? Eli Smith gets there, overruns it. Archie Smith at the back. Kick smothered. Louis Taylor approaches. Good tackling effort there from Coghlan. Dispossesses. Now Aspley, can they get out of here? Handball wasn't expected there. Ball's going to get stuck underneath, and the Lions will have kept it in their half forward area. And they've been doing that well all day as well. Toby Wooler, the last man to get up with the ball. So Walbers versus Ballenden. Walbers gets the hit out. Once again, it's stuck under a few. Reece Toy wants to get in there. And once again, comes up with the agate.
Aspley had a 6-day break, obviously coming into Good Friday. And they had a real tough game, obviously, against Southport last week, as we see a free kick going the Lions' way. Brisbane had a really easy win at the end of the day, and I suppose that professional environment where you can rehab properly and so forth, that no doubt would have been a good factor in, I suppose, the Lions' apparent freshness compared to Aspley. Bob, as Berry kicks it in.
Cool.
And taking a nice defensive mark. And it was a free kick regardless, and that'll go the way of Jordan Arnold. A little kick to the opposite pocket, a little bit dodgy, but it might be Coghlan that comes away with it. Over the back there, the fist came from Jack Payne. Billy Murphy tries to put the skates on, just puts it into the space, and the big unit, William Walbers, comes out and couldn't take it with him. By any stretch, he fell over into the next suburb. He's a long stretch of a bloke he is. The ball spills out. He goes again, Walbers, just to put a block on this time, but not to be. The ball spills over, and we'll have a ball up. It just stayed inside the boundary line.
Just hasn't had the impact this today, Murphy, has he, Pricey? He was very clever last week and kept them in the game on occasions, but hasn't had much space today.
No, kicked the 1 goal, 1, had 15 disposals. 2 goals, 2 last week, I should say, Billy Murphy. But no, he hasn't pulled out the same type of game today, Bob. Aspley through Templeton. Uses the left foot to the top of the square. Freeman's going to have to really go, but he didn't get a jump at it. Skinner thumped it forward. The Lyons, Ballenden, picked up there by Craven, hooks it to the top of the square. Once again, Lyons with the numbers. Freeman off the deck. Jono Freeman in the cast in the role of a rover. Gets his second. Aspley get their fifth. So that is the first time in the game Aspley have scored 2 goals in a row. Lyons has done it a couple of times. Second for Jono Freeman, and it's back to a 44-point margin.
Yeah, good on them. They're still really working hard. I like the work of young Craven. He's really improving. I mentioned that it's probably his 2nd or 3rd year at the club, and he's developing his body. And he's just he stands tall in the tackle now and can get the ball out and uses the ball well when he gets it, which is something that the Aspley players haven't done that well today, but he certainly has.
Starting to balance the inside 50s up a little, although they still are very lopsided Brisbane's way, 49-25, but it was probably that margin at half time, so they probably squared off in this third quarter. They'll get a clearance here again through Ives. They'll go to half forward. Stackelberg taken almost without the ball, I'd suggest. Templeton just stuck beneath his legs, and then he's set upon by Jack Payne and Matt Eagles. They'll have a ball up right at the true centre half forward. For Aspley, they will attack here. Walbers and Smith. Wooler came through. Walbers just gets a cheeky little handball out. Just getting a kick away there was Brisbane. Nobody in particular. It was Wooler that got his foot on the ball. And it's deliberate out of bounds because it went, really, to nobody.
Straight at the boundary line.
Yeah, that's right. Bolch gets it to Payne. Payne, just measured kick, doesn't find Freeman. Ball on the ground, as it will be. Plenty of numbers around here. Eagles lays a tackle. Ives back to Payne. Cutler's in hot pursuit. And the ball becomes in dispute and over the boundary line. Now, boys, quickly, Matt Payne, 24 disposals, 7 clearances as we've seen him go into the middle of the ground. On the other side, Bastonak's got 25 for the Lions, including 8 clearances on his side.
Yeah, good performance from both of those players. Throw in. Archie Smith impeded there by Giles, but he ends up with the ball. Bounces towards Fullerton. Well done, a 100 gamer in Jackson, but unfortunately buffeted off his kick. It's out of bounds on the full and into the car park of the social club. So Toby Wooler's going to take this free kick. Kick 3 goals himself, Toby Wooler. One of a number of multiple goal kickers for the Brisbane Lions. They've got a few options, Bob.
They certainly have. Their forward lines function well, and they've moved them across the field a little bit too. Like Wooler's been back behind the footy on a number of occasions as well.
So here's Toby Wooler. Straight down the line, big pack. Oh, Archie Smith and Ballenden. Ball went front and centre to Ben Warren, towed it off the deck. Toy, sort of a half bounce, half throw. Didn't quite have effect. Madden, the Irishman, gets in there and Payne inflicts some of his surname on him and throws him into the ground. So we'll get another ball up, and they're just doing it in increments of a few metres with this wet conditions, Kanga.
There he is. Spencer just clears it nicely. Here's Payne with another clearance. Gets it off to Warren. That probably just puts him under a bit too much pressure. As Freeman came out, tried to take it on the chest. Couldn't quite do so. Wrapped up is the Brisbane Lions player in... I'll just pick that up. Lester underneath there. He was going nowhere under the pressure of a couple of Aspley tacklers. So we played 30 and a half minutes of this third quarter. Spencer just took front spot. Big body. Cutler just went out of the air. Taylor's there. He's pushed, or in fact it's a holding the man decision, and he can get up, kick it, and they'll open it up here, but I was going to say, but Hinge, he just didn't take it cleanly, but he'll find a man here in Coleman.
Coleman under enormous pressure, ripping tackle. Jackson Allen in your 100th game. It's a bloke a lot younger than him with a lot more toe too, and he just absolutely annihilated him. Well done, holding the ball. So Allen over to the outer side. Henderson wheels around, got a bit of time. and then drills it down the throat of a Brisbane Lions player in Madden who can't quite take it. There's Allison. Eagles. Bit fancy footwork. It could have been holding the ball too, or illegal disposal, one of the two. Umpire Andrew Adair, again, the furthest umpire from the action, called that act. Said that Matty Eagles tried to get around him. And it is incorrect disposal. Handball off to Craven. Little sand wedge, but Toby Wooler fills the hole. It was meant for Ben Warren on the lead. Lions cut it off again.
Being too cute there, Bob.
Yeah, a little bit too cute. They do have to lower their eyes a little bit, Aspley, because they've been bombing it into the square with Freeman against about 4 big blokes, but that was a bit too cute.
Craven just gets it going his side's way again, over the back of Skinner. Lester handled it far better. Skinner couldn't get a foot on it. On there, Hayden and Jordan, they combine. On the left, Ben Warren has front spot, but instead leaves it for Freeman. He was spoiled, though. Well done. Good desperation by the Brisbane defence. Matt Eagles. That was an awkward-looking kick. Lester couldn't handle it. Allison, he's tackled to the ground there by Jordan Arnold, and we will have a throw in. Right on forward 50, out of side, Aspley attack.
Some of that lactic acid must be hitting him. Red time, third quarter, Bob.
Yeah, look, Jordan Arnold, just give him a rap. Like his defensive work in about 3 or 4 situations there for Aspley has been really good.
Over the back of the pack, Lyons, Corey, handball off to Madden. Umpire's got the whistle on play. Umpire said he was dealt with after he got rid of the ball, was young Corey Lyons. He's going to have the kick inside defensive 50. Just dangerous one. Ryan Lester. Jono Freeman might have had a bit of the wind taken out of him in the same contest there. Handball to the run. Well done to Allison again. Kicks at commentary wing. Cutler's got to go. Oh, Cutler belted there by Coughlin. Probably should have got a free kick, I would have thought, but never mind. That's moot, that point, because it is three-quarter time, and the Lions have extended their lead. They were led by quarter time at 18 points. They were led by half time at 36 points, and at three-quarter time it is 44 points the margin. Dominated this game. Mark Kennedy, you've got some quick stats for us as well.
Yeah, overall possessions 295 to 220. These are all Brisbane's way. Mark 68 to 37. Inside 50s 49 to 29. Clearances 38 to 28. The only real stat going the Aspley's way, 39 to 29 in hit-outs. And also tackles, but you can understand that because Aspley been chasing more tail, 47 to 45. Leading possession getters, Matty Payne. He's at 26 for Aspley. Had a big third quarter, injected into the middle of the ground. 6 marks, 4 tackles, 7 clearances, 3 inside 50s. Jackson Allen from behind the ball there in defence has had 17 disposals, while Gavin Gross has had 14. And while the Lions have had plenty of players with plenty of disposals, Basnak's had 25, 8 clearances. Louis Taylor, he's started to really get involved in the game. He's up to 20 disposals, as is Jacob Allison. And then Cutler, he was excellent in the first half, sort of a little bit quieter in that third quarter. He's had 19, and Wooler's had 18 with 3 goals to go his way. And then Keys and Lester have had 16 apiece.
So your goal scorers for the Brisbane Lions, Wooler with 3, Tom Fullerton with 3, very impressive young man. 2 for Keys, 2 for Bassenak, 2 for Coleman. For Aspley, it's pretty easy to add up. 2 for Freeman, 1 for Murphy, 1 for Stackelberg, and 1 for Liam Dawson.
Yeah, Lions too good at this stage. Look, Aspley, a 3-goal straight. They kicked that quarter, and Brisbane 4-3. Had a lot of inside 50s, the Brisbane Lions. Been dominant in all facets of the game, as Kanga rightly said. But Aspley hanging in there. They've got to show some real grit and determination in this fourth quarter.
And we'll be back very shortly with the final quarter from Vox on Oval, Graham Road, Aspley, NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Here we are back at Vox on Oval, Graham Road, Aspley for NEAFL Round 3. NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Michael Price, Mark Kanga Kennedy and Bob Batty calling all of your action today. Aspley versus the Brisbane Lions. The Lions leading by 44 points at three-quarter time. They led by 36 at half-time and 18 at quarter time. Quickly, Bob, what do we want to see in the last quarter from Aspley to give them some hope?
Yeah, well, we want to see Aspley really fight this game out. They showed a lot of character last week in their lowering their collars by 8 points, but they gave their fans something to really look at for the rest of the year. But they're Norton 2 at the moment, looking down the barrel of Norton 3. Daniel's looking for their first win. They need something to go on with for next week.
Earlier today, Southport knocked over Canberra by one single goal in the other Good Friday footy match. Here's Mark Kanga Kennedy.
We'll give that one to Jake Spencer, gets us underway. Payne heavily guarded there by Wooler. Toy just got a handball, which was rebuffed. Going back the other way. The ball still hasn't travelled far, though. Archie Smith tucks under the Jake Spencer. Bit of love work. Spencer follows up with a smother, and then Batchelor inside forward 50. Matty Payne down the middle of the ground. Hampton keeps coming through, but can't take it with him ultimately. Allison just tries to clear the area and only got it to Liam Dawson. So frantic bit of play to open the quarter.
Long kick from Dawson inside 50. Eagles at the back. There was a good fist from Payne. Front and centre was Jake Spencer. And the roll of Rover gets it to Stackelberg. Dribbles it through for a point. 12-9 plays 5-8. And it's been a lively start to this final term.
Great front and centre there from the big fella. 203 centimetres is doing that roving at the front of the pack. That was quick work with the toe poke forward.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is probably a couple of the biggest lineups that you've seen in an NEAFL contest in a long time, just given the sheer size and height of both sides. Spencer just won the mark from the kick in, gets it to Payne. Payne goes down deep. Unable to take it there with Stackelberg. Just slung off it there was Murphy by Payne. And Jack Payne. There is Ives and also Hampton go around the corner. Ricochet off a couple of legs. The ball will stay in, so Madden can bring it back in. Clear it from his defensive 50. But Jack Stanley just does his best to juggle the piece of soap, but just clutches it to his chest and gives it a bit of a wash on the way through.
Why wouldn't you? You need to sort of wipe it down. It's got half of the Vox on Oval on it. Stanley inside 50. Good contest, physical contest between Freeman and Eagles. Good fist away from Eagles. Hampton got pressured out of it. Now the Lions hack it out. It's going to come back with interest. Stanley as well. Will he go laterally? No, he's held up as well. Just about, well, every player on the field almost in front of him. Let's put it that way. Long kick inside 50. Spencer, oh, well done across the face. There was Ainsworth, who fisted it to ground. It was a push in the back, and it'll go to McFadden. There's against Jordan Arnold as well. So then the Lions player saying, hey, settle down. We've got this one in the bag. Take it easy. As Jack Payne gives him some advice, and somebody else gave the umpire some advice. So there's going to be 50 metres as well. So we've got McFadden coming down. We've got players wanted to play on. Now, you are allowed to play on, but not kicking in the man on the mark. Warren to Payne. Payne out here to Liam Dawson, just forward of the right half-back.
Dawson has one short. That is not his best effort because he didn't get it up high enough for a start. Tackle there is Arnold. And a high contact, so Wooler will win the free kick. Unhappy about it is Stackelberg, the man who gave the kick away, and then just gives a little bit of advice to Toby Wooler as well. So Wooler just sits it up, looking for a tall target. Nobody's there. Henderson stands underneath it. Didn't get enough of it. Payne feeds it back to Gross. Has Jackson Allen inside off the one step. Kicks it up. And Archie Smith is underneath it. And he just probably not his best effort in terms of commitment. And the ball spills over the boundary line. Not probably the best when you're right in front of the coaching box there.
So we'll get a throw in. Some slippery conditions, as you would have expected. We've had on and off rain squalls. So Spencer wins this from the almost impossible back position. Oh, pick up from Bastanak. And halfway through, changed his mind, then went for a flick. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Ainsworth inside 50. Juggling effort from Ballenden. Can't get it. Comes back now. Cutler. Deft little touch. Didn't go 15, though. Keys. That's Joyce, misses the target. Gross for Aspley, can't pick it up. That could have been a push in the back, nothing happening. Now it's with Toy. Just barely gets his boot to it. Giles, 1-2 with Toy. Onto the left. Good pressure from Keys, put him off the kick. And Ainsworth, he bombs it up. Fullerton, he misread it, and then he had to go back and get it. It bounced off his chest. And Jackson Allen's going to repel for Aspley.
So Allen, good kick out in the outer wing, finds Stackelberg. Stackelberg has Craven over the top. In hot pursuit there is the young fellow in Joyce. And puts it inside forward 50 and coming out and attacking it nicely was Brandon Batchelor, a boy from Tasmania. So you see Mitchell Hinge just being scored off the field. A little bit worse for wear.
And John O'Giles just telling him that he thought he might need to harden up, get a cup of concrete. Well, that's what I heard anyway.
Well, he is a tough boy, the Bribey Island boy. He's built like a brick outhouse.
Coming in, Batchelor lays it down. Looks like it's across the face. Walbers was there, and the ball just is over the line, so it will be a behind. So the margin, 42 points now in favour of the Lions, so the game well in hand.
Just like the work of Noah Ainsworth across half back. He's certainly worked hard all day. He's got a real bit of spirit in his game as well. I like his movements.
Same with Coleman too. Get a bit of pace. Got the handball to Berry to Keys. Keys got a runner, and he's also got a target inside 50 in Fullerton. Puts it wide of Fullerton. Let's see what the young man's got to do. He's got plenty of toe, plenty of space, and plenty of skill. He just gets it back towards Ballenden. Ballenden half smothered off the kick, and it'll be a throw in 40 metres away from goal. Mitchell Hinge just getting checked out by the doctors to our left there, and he's having a look at his ribs as well, and that was the contest with John O'Giles. So full effect after a very heavy contest.
Ball back into play. Had Gross in the ruck against Ballenden. Ives just towed it towards Gross, and then Gross just clears off the one step. That prodigious left foot on this occasion ineffective and out of bounds on the full. And it's Jacob Allison. And we'll ask Bob Batty in a moment who he thinks has put his hand up, or what players have put their hand up for senior selection next week. Ives. Ball inside defensive 50. Brisbane still very much in the hunt here. Corey Lyons is around the ball. Ives goes again. He's happy to see just the old fake fumble. The fake fumble to take the ball over the line. What do you think, Bob?
Well, look, certainly it looks like the big fella Andrews could be out with a hamstring, and also Matheson, so they need a midfielder and a defender. You'd think Cutler would be in the mix. You'd think Lewis Taylor might be in the mix, and look, even a bloke like Eli Smith might be even in the mix.
Well, Archie Smith might be in the mix after that. He just slapped it down into the throat of Ryan Bastanak, who waltzed in and kicked his third goal. Good ruck work, and that's what you want to see from a bloke like Archie Smith. He's an athlete. He's got Steph Martin in front of him. But gee whiz, he's in his final year of his Brisbane Lions contract here, Bob Batty. It'll be a very interesting progression for him.
Yeah, look, I agree with that one. I think it's worth giving him a crack, isn't it? Like he's certainly shown some promise. He's had 8 or 9 chances, hasn't really cemented a spot in the last 4 years. But, yeah, look, it's worth a punt. The other one's obviously Bastanak. He's played the first 3 and played some good minutes for the Lions. So he'd be in contention as well. But I think Cutler and Taylor are 2 that I'll be looking at this stage.
If leg speed's the issue, Bastanak might not be the answer. There's... Oh, hang on, there's an extra player in the area,
infringement,
which is only a warning, and so it should be too. Get in your positions and hurry up.
Well, that's right. That's good direction from Michael Price there to the players. Not sure that they can hear him, but make a good teacher. Unable to take the ball cleanly with Giles. Gets it to eventually to Ives via Spencer. Freeman can't handle it. Skinner picks the ball up. Clever hit out there by... It was by Allison, but unable to take it there was Ainsworth. Payne is around the corner, gets it to Freeman. Freeman on the left foot and just to the near side. Just kicks it behind. So the margin 47 points now in favour of Brisbane.
Has lifted his work rate, Jonathan Freeman, hasn't he? Like he's been against 3 big tall towers down back in Ballenden started on him. He had Eagles and also Skinner's gone back there and Payne, but he's kept working hard.
Long kick in. Smith got over the top. Oh, great tackle. Let loose the ball. Jordan Arnold almost got D-dacked. Towed off the deck there by Giles. Hit Spencer. Spencer handball to Henderson. Puts it out in the path of Dawson, who gets attacked. Ball spills. Payne. Handball back to Templeton. Tap back to Payne. Payne gets it to Warren, who pushed his opponent out of the way, pushed in the side, so keeps going. Handballs more or less to himself and Coughlin over the boundary line, and another throw in. So it's 47 points the margin. 10 minutes gone, final quarter. The wind's dropped, which is fantastic. The rain stopped, which is also fantastic. So hopefully for the rest of the game we'll get some dry and free play.
Hitting it over the back there with Spencer. Templeton right there, but also right there is the Brisbane defence. Payne gets it out. Box Hill, Billy Murphy shoots for goal and kicks one. That's 2 for him for the afternoon. And the first one for Aspley in the last quarter. That takes them to 6 for the afternoon. And the margin back to 41 points, 10.5 minutes gone of this last quarter.
Yeah, just another pat in the back to Jasper Craven there. That was a brilliant tap onto Murphy into space, and they just haven't had enough of that, enough creativeness up forward to really impact the scoreboard. But that was a beautiful knock-on and a good finish. Like, he hadn't had a great day, Billy Murphy, but he's certainly one that I think will improve as the season goes on as a recruit for Aspley.
He got 3 goals on his debut in round 1. 2 goals last week. He's got 2 goals this week. So as a small forward, he's contributing on the scoreboard. Like to see a little bit more of that forward pressure from Billy Murphy as well. He's got the toe and can tackle. We've seen that as well. So in the middle, Smith goes right over the top of Spencer, gets the tap down. Spencer roves again. Handball backwards to Dawson. Now to Allen. Under a lot of pressure, he just basically has to go sideways. Will Coughlin get here first? He does. Well picked up, the young man, but he's tackled by Cutler over the boundary line. We'll get another throw in. So you're 41 points the margin, 11 minutes gone, final term. And if you look at it, Bob, 16 scoring shots to 22. It's not a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. The Lions have been superior in just about every category, but Aspley not giving up the ghost. Spencer back towards the boundary line. Yeah, they've just kept going, Aspley, and that's what they need to do in this type of environment.
Yeah, look, as I mentioned at three-quarter time, they really need to show their supporters some real desperation. And look, the conditions have certainly helped them to stay fairly close, but the Lions have played pretty well, so Aspley, nothing against them either.
Bassanak just fends Giles off, and Bassanak just delivers it nicely in the middle of the ground, unable to handle it there. One of the Lions player in Ainsworth, but they'll come away still with it again. Here's Hinge. Back on the field. Good to see him back on the field. Minus his strapping, and that's a good mark there from the big fellow in Connor Ballenden. No less against Gavin Gross, so good one-on-one contest.
That's a promising sign, isn't it, for Connor Ballenden? Like, I think that's been the big knock on him last year anyway, at least, at NEAFL level. He really didn't use his body all that well. He'd run and jump at the footy and take some nice marks, but in contested marking, he wasn't in the picture, but that was certainly a beauty.
10 disposals, 4 marks, and we'll add a goal to that as well. So well done there for Connor Ballenden. And Aspley re-establish the deficit. Got my words round the wrong way there, but they've re-established a deficit back to 47 points. They are behind the Brisbane Lions here at Vauxhall Oval, and we've played some 13 and a half minutes of this last quarter.
Yeah, you mentioned that the rain stopped and the wind has dropped, so that is a good mark still, because that ball's pretty heavy. Everyone else is struggling to even take chest marks 5 minutes ago, so that is a good strong mark against a quality defender and a very nice finish, so that'll give him a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it was a good finish considering they've been spraying him around a little bit. 20 goals, 19 today for if you combine both scores. Dawson at the foot of the pack, stopped dead. Coughlin got in there, turned the ball over to Eli Smith. Archie Smith goes through the legs of Stanley. Louis Taylor, he can't quite control. He's got Craven up his backside. Oh, who's picked that up and got absolutely smashed? And Louis Taylor and Jono Giles has got the angry pills going on there. Yeah, we heard him give a mouthful to Mitchell Hinge on his way off the paddock, and he's just given it to Louis Taylor and Tom Berry as well. We get another ball up inside the centre square. Wooler scrubs it forward. Oh, that's hit him in the face, hasn't it? Did he face plant that ball?
Definitely.
There's Archie Smith in the Ballenden direction. Gross spoils Ballenden at ground level. Can he get there first? He just paddles it over the boundary. No. Yes, it is now. And we'll get a throw in. That was just like a full face falcon.
Just trying to think, pick up who that, who copped it.
I think it was number 18.
Ah, Jordan Arnold.
Definitely.
We've seen a couple of falcons today in the wet conditions.
So ball back into play. No ruckman was anywhere near it, so the ball just was... the umpire's going to give it back to the boundary umpire and try it all again.
Restart.
Short throw.
I don't think anyone nominated, so no one went for it.
Yeah. So Wooler and Jack Stanley will be the two unlikely ruckmen. By far the least tallest of the timber on the field. And still hits the ground yet again. Keys has his kick smothered. Going up high. Lyons, he's just wrapped up. He's happy to submit to the Henderson tackle. And the stoppage happens right in front of goal. Some 25 metres out.
Dangerous spot. 47 points the margin. 15 gone. Slap down. Gross again. Just hacked out of the middle there. Lyons now through Wooler. Wooler handball to Cutler. Can't control it. Craven right on his hammer. Keeps the pressure on. Cutler gets the handball away. Louis Taylor. Oh, he's not going anywhere. Thrown down by Jackson Allen with a little bit of extra spice on it as well. Handball through the middle. Stanley. Walbers. Here goes the engineer. And a handball around the feet of Hampton. Hampton now recovers. He sees a man basically all by himself. It's Tom Bolch. He takes the mark 45 metres out. He was reasonably confident. He sort of semi-turned his back on that one. Said, I'm going to have a ping. Why not? So he'll have to let go from around about 50 metres, Tom Bolch. He was in today, one of the three ins for Aspley, with Coughlin and Jackson Allen. Here he goes from 45. He strikes it kind of nicely. It's to the left a little. Well played, young man. His first goal, Tom Bolch. He's the one we're talking about from East Perth, Bob. And a good recruit as well gets his first goal. And Aspley get their seventh. 14-9-93 to 7-10-52. Back to 41 points the margin.
Yeah, I haven't seen young Tom before. He's an East Perth recruit. First year at the club, only a youngster. As is the case with the coaching staff, kick a goal and come off the ground, son. Don't get your confidence up too high. No, I'm only joking. He is coming off the ground, though. But that's good for Aspley. They need to kick one or two more. You can see the supporters are happy with their effort, but they just want to see some more results on that scoreboard.
So margin 41 points. Well done by Spencer. Got it down. Berry couldn't handle it, but coming through nicely. Eli Smith just pops it up, looking for Fullerton's a target. Gross couldn't take it himself. And there he is. Just swooping on it was Kadeen Coleman. And that's number 3 for him. Haven't seen a lot of him in this last quarter, but what he does, it is 100% exciting.
Yeah, just got in the right place at the right time, hasn't in that contested marking situation. Was at the front of the pack and got a nice little handball, nice little give and finish it off. Has been playing mainly as a defender, played as certainly a running defender for the Allies last year and also for Queensland in their Academy series. And he's played mainly as a backman in the first 3 games. But good to see him go forward and kick goals.
He's a regular in this NEAFL side for the Lions last year as well. Payne with the clearance, shoots the handball at ground level. Toy off the deck inside 50. Big pack flies. Comes off hands. Eagles was the first big man to recover. That's a sky ball towards right halfback Louis Taylor versus Ives. That's a short and the short of it, and they spoil each other over the boundary line. We're going to throw in left half forward. Still a good contest. 17 scoring shots to 24, as we say.
Just got to be a little bit more efficient with the footy, Eagles, doesn't he? He wins the ball well, did well to recover from a marking contest, but just a haphazard kick out of defence.
Spencer wins the tap down. Louis Taylor going in, but handballing it to Giles, who gets tackled in turn by Berry. It's kicked inside 50. Skinner. Has he been paid? No. Yes, he has been paid that, the umpire. I thought he was trying to do that loop around the back thing. We've seen that a couple of times today as well.
That's right. We've seen players try to balance balls on their nose and all sorts of things. So out to the outer side of the ground, Lawrence just put it back from whence it came, although, no, it didn't come from the car park.
It come from the back of that white ute.
Came from the half, came from inside the forward 50. So that is not his best effort of winding up on the left. And it is the big fellow. It's Allison kicking the ball. Get to you on a second, Pricey, over the back of the pack. So the foot race is on. Unable to get any purchase on it was the Brisbane Lions player. Well done by Louis Taylor. Allison, he's set upon straight away. Taylor again gives it to this man, Coleman. I thought he was going to go for goal, but he went for a target, and the target was Cutler, and he just misses it. I would have loved for him to go for home.
Yeah, the unselfish kick to the leading forward. He might have been the forward Cutler that gave him the handball in the goal square about 2 minutes ago. So maybe he thought, I better repay the service.
Connor McFadgen boots off. He's done for the day as well on the Brisbane Lions bench. Ainsworth, Cutler from the boundary line. Umpire said he was over the boundary line, so we'll get a throw in a reasonably the same spot. Yeah, jumper off, boots off, got the jacket on. So he was talking about a lower right hand.
Yeah, look, he's had injury problems. Late last year he had a lower leg problem, and he's missed a little bit of pre-season and the start of this year with a lower leg injury. So, not good for Connor, but at least he's got some quarters under his belt.
Exactly right. Throw in, Gross. In the hands of Warren for Aspley. Toy. I reckon Reece Toy's had a cracking game today. He's really tried hard. Ainsworth. The right foot. Top of the square. Oh, good grab. Good hands. Just watch the floating ball come in, Toby Wooler. Took it in the 2 mitts. He's going back for goal number 4. Floating, wet, heavy ball. Good hands.
Yeah, look, he's, as we said earlier in the day, ex-captain of the Oakley Chargers. He's got great endurance. You've seen him play nearly all over the field. And vice-like grip there. He is a strong overhead mark. And this is number 4.
Number 41 in the 2017 draft, Toby Wooler. Would have to fall over to miss it, as Lou Richards used to say, and he doesn't fall over. So he gets the goal. That's 4. He leads the charge as far as goal kickers go for the Brisbane Lions. He's got 4. Coleman, Fullerton, Bastanak have got 3 apiece. Keys with 2, and Connor Ballanden's the single goal kicker. So the score 16-19, 105 to Aspley 7-10, 52. It's now a 53-point margin. 22 gone, final term.
Yeah, just need to respond here, Aspley, don't they? Just don't let it get out to the 10-goal margin. Let's kick the next couple and keep it to a 40-point margin. So, it's a big ask. They're probably pretty tired. They've been chasing leather all day, but they need to dig deep in this last 3 or 4 minutes.
So the margin back to 53 points. Archie Smith went high, did well. Ball at ground level. That's the second time he's tried to tow it that way and hasn't made beautiful connection either time. Coming the other way, though, that was Jack Stanley. Reece Toy had front spot, but Lester was right there with him. Good tackle by Matt Payne, win the free kick. Will they try and play on? No. The tackle was on Joyce. So well done to Matty Payne, tried very hard. Ball out, there's Stackelberg. Here's a long kick, but it's too far for him, I'd think. Yes, just sets the ball up. Freeman's the target. Ball at ground level. Reece Toy's there again. Lester's right there with him, and that ball's going nowhere. So right at the shadows of this game, nearly 24 minutes or 23 and a half minutes gone. Game well in control for Brisbane. It was Dawson. Ball towed away from the contest. Stackelberg there. Louis Taylor does well. Feeds the ball back inside. Skinner, little dinky kick. Can't quite find a target. Keys is there just trying to help out. Now Madden with Payne. And he fell right into Payne, and Payne will win the free kick. Very nicely done. Experience, that is, by Matthew Payne. Coming up for disposal number 38, if you don't mind. Inside forward 50 towards Skinner.
Over the heads of everybody. Eagles. He dived on it. Had to get rid of it. Hacks it out now. Allison. He was over the boundary line before he kicked it. Boundary umpire's going to bring it back and throw it in about 40 metres from goal for Aspley. They're inside their attacking 50.
Great resilience from Addy Payne, and he started on the half-back line. He was up against Tom Berry early, and Tom Berry looked pretty dangerous, actually, in that first 10 minutes, but he's found a way to get himself into the game, went on ball and racking up possession after possession this last quarter. Great skills.
Here's the throw in. Walbers gets it down through the legs of Toy. In fact, now Walbers off the deck, kicks it forward, off hands. Now it's hacked out of there by the Brisbane Lions, but only as far as Jack Coughlin, premiership player with Maine in the QFA. Now what's he doing here? He's a long way out. He's going to have to strike this. This is where they won the 2014 grand final from there. And he kicked it 2/3 the distance at the back of the pack. Eagles off hands. Now it's with the Irishman, Madden. Geez, he's got some toe too, hasn't he? Just got to learn how to dispose of the ball at this particular stage. Stanley cuts it off and pass. Spears it to Templeton. He's going to have to kick this from around about 50 metres out. Every player on the field is basically either level or in front of him.
I know he turned the ball over there, but I think Madden's got something about him.
Oh, he's got some skills. I wasn't being facetious. He's just got to learn a little bit more of the skills, but he's got some moves. Templeton sinks the boot into that. Now that's a good kick for goal. Thomas Templeton, the Noosa boy, gets his first for the day. Aspley gets their 8th 11:58, 16-9, 105. The Brisbane Lions back to 47 points the margin.
Yeah, as I said, they need to respond, and they did that. Kept the ball in their forward half, looked dangerous, and beautiful kick from Templeton. Heavy ball, that would be, with a dry ball on a good day, that's probably a 55-metre kick, and that was a tough kick, and it cleared the pack beautifully. And look, they've kicked 3 goals in this last quarter, Aspley, and 3 to 4 again. They've probably, nearly halved it throughout the second half. So not a bad effort from the Aspley Hornets.
So a 666 infringement. They've had their warning. So I believe that this time it is an Aspley free kick. So players need to stay in their respective spots until the ball's disposed of. And right to forward 50 it went. The spoil found Allison. The handball wasn't probably the best. McFadden gets a hand over the top. It wasn't Madden, it was. McFadden, Madden. I'm getting my Macs and my Fads wrong. Lyons just breaks a tackle and gets it around the corner. Well done there by Wooler. Just gets his opponent out of the way. Madden tries to come through again. Upset the apple cart was Craven there. Kept in by Berry. Well done by him. Coleman. Luckily, Henderson was right there with him, but just a free kick going Coleman's way for being held without the ball, according to the umpire. 70 metres out from Brisbane's goal.
So Coleman, he's kicked 3 today. Shown glimpses of brilliance. Chips is it inside 50. Big fly came from Ballenden off hands. He tries to buff it through the rest of them as well. Ball spills, Corey Lyons. Hands off Fullerton. Fullerton around the corner. Fullerton, 4 for Fullerton. Boy, he got some skills for a big bloke. Like the looks of him. And the Lions, 17-9, 111 to Aspley, 8-10-58. Back to 43 points the margin. Tom Fullerton, am liking what I see.
Yeah, look, coming from the ground now with a bit of cramp, so it just shows you he's missed a bit of pre-season too. He is an athlete, though. We've spoken about his abilities at ground level, and he showed it there. But good work again from Ballenden. He put his body in front of Gavin Gross, nearly took the mark, but managed to force the ball out of the pack, and quick hands over to Fullerton. A beautiful snap. He knows where the goals are, Kangan.
Well, I think he's one of these players that he's going to evolve enormously as the season progresses, and I think you can see some real raw potential there, but I think he's going to grow into a pretty good player. Hopefully get his chance at AFL level. Aspley win the free kick. Reece Toy underneath. No great surprise there.
He and Payne have held them together today, haven't they?
Well, if nothing else, in effort in the middle of the ground. Inside forward 50, Jack Payne. And well done. Initially went for the spoil, then got it on the second bite of the cherry. And the man back, just taking control there. That's Cutler. He's covered a fair bit of territory. They've moved him around a fair bit today, especially after half-time. They're just controlling things nicely. It was Hinge to Allison there. And Archie Smith just waited for it. Probably should have gone for it. Eli Smith. Smith to Smith. Burns off Spencer, but the kick probably isn't as good as it could have been. And getting back there and just saving the day somewhat was Doug Lawrence.
Just let himself down there, Eli Smith there. It was under a lot of pressure, I suppose, but he was being chased by a ruckman, so he could have given himself a little bit more time. So Reece Toy being held up. He's going to come down the line. Spencer will be the target. Skinner got to the front and takes a ripping mark. The kick just wasn't there. Jake Spencer looks back and says, come on. It's got to come more directly than that. Goes backwards now to Lester. Lester to Madden. I agree with you, Kanga. Let's see what he does with this one. That's a better kick. Still choices. Learning curve. Bastanak. Must love these conditions because he's built closer to the ground. He just picks the ball up nicely. Spears a ball in laterally and finds his teammate. That's Joyce. Joyce across the half-forward line. Ainsworth. Hinge. Approached by Hampton. One way than the other. He could almost kick that, but he lowers his eyes, Allison. Finds a teammate in Corey Lyons, and in the background, an Aspley player falls over without being touched. I think he did a knee.
No, I think he's...
twisted.
I think he just went to get a bit of purchase on the ground and slipped over.
Yeah.
He's all right.
But that was, again, just simple movements from the Lions and using the ball, Bob.
Yeah, they use each other very well, don't they? You can see the emphasis on sharing the ball, getting it to a player in space, and this should be a goal for Lyons.
Corey Lyons from 45.
No hope.
I'm putting you on the mark now. That's the end of you, Bob.
I thought he was going to stay out of it today.
Yeah.
He couldn't get anything wrong.
Couldn't get anything wrong, and you've just put yourself in the club. So 44 points the margin it is late in the final quarter here at Vox on Oval.
Didn't want you to feel lonely, Michael.
And me too. Yeah, that's Jackson Allen brings it right up the middle. Eagles went high. Trying to get it. Hampton comes through the other way, though. Has a man forward. Reece Toy just needs to put in the path of Murphy, but instead goes inside. And it'll get to Murphy as well. The kick came from Templeton, and that's 2 for him. I thought for a fleeting moment they were going to butcher it, but the kick from Templeton was in the path of Murphy anyway, but Murphy wasn't required. And Templeton, he kicks his second in rapid succession. The margin back to 48 points, 17-10, 112 to Aspley, 9-10. 64. We have played nearly 32, or a bit over 32 minutes of this last quarter.
Well, Pricey, I reckon the coaching staff at Aspley will show that vision of that goal, the way they moved the ball from one end of the ground to the other. It was clean possession, run and carry, and they had two options of kicking the goal. One was Templeton and one was Murphy. That's a good sign for Aspley in weeks to come.
Here's Will Walbers, tackled, lets loose the ball. Dawson hooks it around the body. Hampton in front, takes the mark in front of Ainsworth. Got a few options. Puts it out right. Lester, good spoil, but front and centre work from Billy Murphy was brilliant. Lester goes back with experience, did well. Mitchell Hinge with the ball, and there's the siren here at Vox on Oval, Graham Road, Aspley. There's some tired boys out there. Heavy ground, heavy conditions, heavy ball in the end. And a heavy defeat for Aspley in the end on a Good Friday day. 17-10, 112 to 9-10, 64. In the end, it was a 48-point margin. They held up pretty well, Aspley, in the final term. They trailed by 44 at three-quarter time, 36 at half-time, and 18 at quarter-time. And only outscored by the 4 points in the final term, which I think the coaching staff that'll be something to hang the hat on, as well as the efforts of some of the most experienced players as well, Kanga. For Aspley, I love the efforts of course, MVP3, Matt Payne. He's an extraordinary footballer. But also Reece Toy, I think, from the very opening bounce, showed his intent for the game for Aspley. The Lions, they've got plenty to choose from. Their goal kickers, I'll just quickly go through them. You can take over. Tom Fullerton got 4, Wooler got 4, Bastanak and Coleman got 3 apiece. Ben Keys got 2 and Connor Ballanton got 1. For Aspley, it was Thomas Templeton with 2 goals in the final quarter. 2 to Freeman, 1 to Murphy, 1 to Stackelberg, and 1 to Liam Dawson. But the Lions have got plenty to like out of that.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, when you come in with 21 listed or rookie players, you're always going to be very difficult to beat. But you still got to go out there and do it. And against the competitive Aspley side, and I think it was a case of various times, Aspley weren't horrible, but Brisbane were just better. And there's no two ways about it. They were better around the pill, around the midfield. Their pressure around the contest was good, and they were able to take advantage at the right time. Their run and carry on the outside was good. And Aspley just couldn't complete on that level. I think as the season wears on and we see a different mix of listed players for Brisbane against a different Aspley side, we're going to see some different competitive combinations, and I think Aspley will come into their own. But now, sitting at 0-3, Aspley, I guess the acid's on. They have a week's break now, and then they have really what I would suggest is a crunch game against Redland on the 5th of May. So a little bit of time to think about it and try and get their ducks in a line to try and get their first win of the season. And, you know, there's a lot to like about what Aspley do, but they've just run into the likes of Southport last week, who we know are going to be right up there.
Yep.
Brisbane in the Brisbane today, and then I think round 1 they were really outpointed by Sydney University, who are a bit of a surprise packet down in Sydney. So I think Aspley have got plenty to go going for them, but they just need to get some pedal to the metal, and that means premiership points on the board to really sort of stamp where they sit in this year's 2019 race. But I think Brisbane, they'll be right up there, there's no doubt, if they stay healthy.
As we see the Aspley boys, they're dejected, but they are cheering off their 100-game player, and we must make mention of that again. Jackson Allen, he has been a fixture in this NEAFL competition, made his debut for Morningside 2011, round 3, and here he is 100 NEAFL games later, the member of the 2016 Team of the Year. He's a co-captain down at Aspley, and congratulations to him. 100 NEAFL games. Bob, quickly, we just got to look at Brisbane as well. Kanga asked you a little bit earlier, but you have to go back and say how many of the boys put their hands up for senior selection.
Yeah, well, look, certainly, as we've mentioned throughout the contest, and Kanga mentioned then, Bastanak, Cutler and Taylor were right up there. They got plenty of the footy. They looked dangerous when they got it. They have some run and some carry, which is what the Lions are probably looking for. Lester was good down back. Archie Smith worked valiantly against 2 big giants and held his own pretty well, I thought, in the contest. Look, they'll be really happy with their second-year players and recruits that have really started to show something. Toby Wooler was very good today with 4 goals. Fullerton was really good with another 4. I like the work of Joyce in close and around the ground. Ainsworth was quite good. Certainly Payne and Ballender are improving. Look, they had players, every one of their players contributed today, and that was a good effort. Young Madden showed some dash. Look, they had players all over the ground that probably they won in most positions, but Aspley didn't give up. The last mention I want to give is to little Kadeem Coleman. He is the only player from the academy that is playing there for the Lions at the moment, and he really earned his spot, didn't he? He kicked 3 nice goals and shows a clean pair of heels. So all in all, great effort from the Lions. As Kanga said, Aspley working hard, just need to get a little bit more result on the scoreboard to get their first win.
Yeah, just a quick stats getters, just to get close to the very finish now. Matty Payne for Aspley, 38 disposals for the afternoon, especially a lot of those when he went around the middle, where we know him so well with those 3 NEAFL MVPs so far. 10 clearances, 6 inside 50s, 2 rebound 50s, and just the behind. Jackson Allen had 21 in his 100th game. James Ives had 18. Gross had 16 from the back half of the ground. A little bit better back half of the game from Liam Dawson. He had 15, and Jack Stanley and also Giles had 15 apiece. Reece Toy, he probably didn't have the stats, but he was around the contest impacting it. He had 14 along with Templeton, and Templeton had those couple of goals to go with it. Bastanak, he had 29 for the Lions, including 10 clearances, 5 inside 50s and 3 goals won, so pretty complete performance for him. Jacob Allison, he had 27 disposals, 6 inside 50, 6 rebound 50, so each end of the ground for him. Louis Taylor had 26 as well, 7 inside 50s. Cutler, he was good in the first half, especially 25 disposals. I think we'll see him for mine. I reckon we'll definitely see him in the seniors next week. 6 inside 50s and was really busy there. Wooler had 23, 7 marks, 4 goals as we mentioned, and the list goes on and on down there. Lester and Tommy Joyce had 20 apiece, and as we said, little mention there to Tommy Fulton. Only had the 9 disposals, but 4 goals straight, couple of marks, and looked very nice in what he did.
So some promising, I suppose, prospects there for the Brisbane Lions. And Aspley, well, the green shoots are there too, to quote Brendan Bolton, but we'll see what happens. It has been NEAFL Round 3. Thanks very much to Mark Kanga-Kennedy, Bob, the Encyclopedia of Queensland Football Batty, and Tim from Bar TV, Jess, and all of the crew from NEAFL TV as well. We'll be back with the next round, round 4 of NEAFL footy. It's flying already, isn't it? Season 2019. We'll be back with that next week here on Bar TV.